an half pot that I'm betting. You
Yeah,
just end up
that and also just the
you just end up with a lot of hands that are folding if you're folding ace X,
hmm
um, which might end up being a bit of a problem. But you know, I had 7 eye, so I'm happy to see a fold.
as you can imagine.
Yeah.
So Nostivra is cheering for Tommy. Let us know if you're tuning in at home who you're watching out for here at the feature table. As I imagine things in terms of eliminations might slow down a touch now. I mean, that's pretty quick to get 7 eliminations in the space of merely a few hours.
Yeah, it went pretty fast when I was still in. Just like,
Yeah.
I believe there was some double bust out maybe on stream, or at least it seemed that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, just it can go really fast like that when everyone's like kind of battling to get, finally reach day three, and then
Yeah,
there were so many
that's that.
20, 25 baby stacks.
hmm
Yeah, they just have to clash at some point, right?
Yep, it's
Uh,
inevitable.
yeah, and now you kind of have the same song and dance where the German guy over here in small blind against a what seems to be a 1 million stack in big blind is just probably gonna have to put him in
Yep.
quite often, and having the high card here, yeah, we see him go for what
Gonna
looked
go
like a non-lane
like a
raise,
2.3 or
which I don't mind.
2.5 or something.
I could even go clean 3x, but 190, so goes uh, less than 2.5x,
Yeah.
which, yeah, big blind's just gonna be allowed to see a flop with two cards,
hmm
which,
Yeah,
no,
I see what you
yeah, you
mean.
don't really want that, but
You don't want to
let's say
force.
you make it 4 or 240 here. Obviously, queen five off, not a hand, as we see a kind of troublesome flop.
hmm
Queen five off doesn't really benefit from playing post too much, and obviously if you make it smaller, people can defend it more.
Yep.
So yeah, we're definitely seeing a turn here, unless Fashi is gonna decide that that's enough, and
Just snap all
as
in.
you go,
Yeah.
run your equity. Yeah, I'd like to see a bit more of a pretending here, because I wouldn't expect him to snap in with some weaker king X. Maybe it would actually.
Yeah, potentially just any kind of pair or equity within the flop is. It was kind of that hand against you reminded me of that. It's just like the snap action
Yeah,
there. It's really unnecessary at this stage of a tournament. It's not going to do you any favors, but could potentially cause harm to you later on.
yeah, for sure. So you see the chip distribution.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a bit cagey seeing four stacks quite even. Like,
Mhm.
Pavlu doesn't wanna lose like 10 big blinds here.
Yeah,
Uh,
right in the back bottom of the
like
pack.
yeah, and then obviously Peter to Sayago are not really happy to battle with the Polish ship lead,
Yeah.
because we might ramp up a bit of aggression. Obviously,
Mhm.
being sandwiched between Sayago and Tommy Alm
Yeah.
might behave a bit more than he might be supposed to, but
Yeah. Let's see. It was a mixed bag in the. He actually won the side event, the Bratislava Deep
oh
Stack,
right,
on Tuesday or Wednesday, I believe, and he was yeah, sort of, kind of taking the reins, but then also missing a lot of open jams and stuff. But
right,
it's difficult at this stage, right? When you've got 9 left and you're just surrounded by people.
yeah, I definitely don't want to be open jamming this.
No, of course not.
There's some distributions where you can, and
Mhm.
the problem with it is variance just kicks up so much when
Yeah.
you can just uh, go for uh, a normal parentheses normal open with your entire range,
Mhm.
which isn't unreasonable here, as we see Vashi does go for his patented look with pop the collar up and go shake in his hands. Was pretty interesting to see yesterday as well in some pots, but Definitely, yeah, just has ace king off. Just easiest decision of your life. As we
Yeah.
see streamer Yevakim in the chat.
Welcome, welcome.
Good seeing
Who
you
that?
again. Festival regular.
Yeah, and on an unfortunate run of live non-caches.
Yeah,
Quite
I
the
saw that.
opposite to you, so
Yeah, exactly.
it's brutal when that happens.
Yeah, especially live. It hurts so much more because you travel for an event and stay for a week, so hotel costs and food and stuff adds with it. And
Yeah,
then yeah,
exactly.
the time frame of not getting any money in your hand is a bit more rough than it would be
Yeah,
in an online session.
exactly. It's yeah, it just lasts a long time and
Yeah.
costs you a lot of change outside of not only the play but just the moving around as
Yeah.
well. Andy just jumping in saying small blind never has bottom of range here, eh? When he goes for the Phil Hellmuth lockup there.
No, Andy definitely. Speaking of a guy that's been running kind of bad live this
Mhm.
past year, also in the same bit of a boat as Yevakame is, but
Can't
I'm
catch a
sure
break.
he'll be fine.
Mm.
We see Tommy kicking it up here with the A60, announcing his raise. Gonna run into Christopher's pocket tens.
Good old Tommy going for the 2.5x from +3 with a6 off in the middle of the pack, just making it happen, the lad.
Yeah, and if you hadn't seen Tommy play yesterday or earlier today, you might be a bit afraid of doing much aggression against the action.
Yeah,
But obviously, Christopher has played a bit with him and realized that Tommy is sometimes up to no good, and then obviously just becomes fist pumping.
close your eyes and
Yeah,
put it in.
hope no one wakes up behind.
Ever making it like 1.2 million just in case there's like 2 jams behind or something?
Yeah, that's actually yeah, that would be a pretty good
That's a hand
spot in this spot. But
that's,
like,
yeah, size it.
if you make it somewhat too big, you can't really fold two jumps behind anyways,
Yeah,
because there's still gonna be like ace queen, ace king in there, which yeah, tens does surprisingly well against.
yeah. I think it would be very rare for to see ace queen and ace king get both in behind in
Yeah, yeah.
this kind of level tournament, but
I guess against two all-ins, you just if it goes Pete or all-in, and then Ilya wakes up with it behind, yeah,
mhm.
then you definitely know your tens are dead and buried.
Yep.
But sometimes you don't wanna put in 2/3 of your stack and still have to fold because you might end up with just dusting off a bunch of your chips while not seeing five cards.
Yeah, or sometimes people have put in like half of their stack and been like peeled and been put in a really weird post
Yeah.
flop spot
Oh
as
yeah.
well. That's the best when you see those ones.
Yeah, see someone raising to like 5 VB and then
Yeah, yeah.
end up SPR point 0.5 and be like, fold, I guess.
So Christopher, a lovely pickup for him.
Yeah. It's a bit of a nice momentum to catch on the FT.
Oh, it's lovely, yeah.
I've definitely had FTs where it's just been you three bet bluff once or twice, and then all of a sudden you go from I don't know 40 bigs to 20 bigs, and then blinds go up, and you're just like, why do I do
Yeah,
this? You
you
know,
feel like you're
why did
sort of
I get dealt like king six suited in on the button versus open?
yeah, looking over your shoulder thinking, oh dear.
Yeah.
What's been your cleanest main event final table this year?
I think Dublin was
Dublin, yeah.
Definitely Dublin.
Hmm.
Yeah, the
Pretty good
was
lineup as well you had there.
yeah, I was I believe I got in fourth in chips. I started the day three pretty shallow, but
Yep,
bluffed my way up and then won an all in pretty close to the final table.
yep,
And the distribution was kind of nice, where I had a big stack to my direct right, so it didn't, and there was another big stack to my left, so they would kind of were afraid to clash with one another, of course.
hmm,
So that led to me getting more spots myself.
yep.
Then there were three shorties below 10 BB that just busted one after another.
Ideal.
I took out two of them, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, and then won a flip for a heap, final five,
Yeah.
yeah, and then stacked number three and an insane four bet pot, where my second pair was good against three high.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Four bet pot. Yeah.
and treated himself to the old
To the
three
old
deuce suited.
three Dewey. The
Yeah, the clean diaper it
yeah, I was
was.
gonna
Yeah,
say it can't be the dirty diaper. It's the less dirty.
yeah. So that was definitely um, yeah, definitely cleanest. Just heads up to basically forever, but we were both 100 bigs deep.
Yeah.
Think we ended on hand 75 or something,
Ooh.
which yeah, pretty much was more hands than the entire FT played.
Yeah. What's that in live poker? 75. Is that like an hour and a half of heads up or
Probably like two.
two? Yeah.
I'd imagine like two or a bit more because there were quite a bit of. I started with a pretty big lead
Mhm.
because I just won that big pot,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then I grinded him down a bit, and then he grinded up again and won a few big pots himself. And I think it concluded me.
Was,
Uh,
it, was there any ever talk of a deal at that stage?
no,
No.
there wasn't.
And that was your or both
I
deal?
it just didn't really come up. We didn't talk much in general, but like
Yeah.
um, we were kind of both recognizing that yeah, a deal wasn't really gonna be happening, especially at the start of final table or
Yeah.
start of heads up, where I think a 3-1 chip lead, and my opponent Thomas was also just
Never,
probably
never
pretty
really heard of this
confident
guy before.
in his abilities as well. As
Yeah.
he played like reasonably throughout the FT.
Yeah.
Maybe had some like interesting tidbits of strategy heads up,
Uh huh.
um, which I was able to take advantage of in certain spots.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, also just getting good cards and winning
That's
seems like a
fairly
good strategy when
unfallible.
you're one
Yeah.
v one.
Get good cards and win big pots.
Yeah,
Absolutely. You heard it here first, guys. If you're tuning in, looking for the insight.
tide is right and all that. Win all ins.
Tide is right.
Yeah,
That's a bit of a missell, I think.
it's not gonna be me.
And then there were four Irish players at the table.
Yeah,
Were they kind of, more the spots, quote unquote, or
I mean not really.
no?
So Patrick, Andy, and I believe yeah, it was just
Liam and Glenn, something.
Glenn was really active.
Okay.
Was a really aggressive player, so
Yeah.
noticeable with his bust out hand, of course.
Mhm.
I,
And
I
his
got told he
clean
was
diaper.
pretty, yeah, he was pretty relentless in his aggression.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely a bit harder when you're talking about ICM pressure and being a top three stack against another top three stack. You don't really
No, you don't
want
want
to
to
be
have
put in the
this kind of
mixer with like
guy.
some underpair.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like, yeah, he could be bluffing, but
Yeah.
there's three other guys waiting for me to put in my chips. You know.
Mhm.
You see Peter picking up jacks here in cutoff.
Going for the 2.35x. One of the only people that we've seen implementing larger than.
I think that's pretty interesting against chip lead when
Yeah.
you're already gonna be a bit tighter and you
Because
don't.
you're just saying I'm opening a stronger range anyway. I
Yeah,
might as well size up a little bit.
yeah, when you're opening. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Just might as well give him a bit of a worse price to call with a bit of a stronger hand.
Yeah.
I would need to see him do this with like some near the bottom of his range,
Mhm.
right?
What would the bottom be here? Like a king 10, king 9 off, something like that?
Yeah, something in that direction. Yeah, like I don't really think you should be going too tight, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it's like, let me think. Like some suited queens, maybe like queen seven, you can still open them more.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, it just gets a bit tricky when you're just as he's bet pretty close to pot here, which I like, especially after the bit bigger open. Definitely putting in more chips than the average. Let's see bet a third because it's flop. Yeah, it just recognizes that jacks definitely need some good protection here on the 873 rainbow. And we might see Reimer do something here with the bottom pair and under, which he might regret. Oh yeah, he just correctly folds after flopping the pair, which is also the sign of a player that recognizes
The strength of
him
the
being big bet, and then
yeah.
yeah, just not getting too stuck with the three deuce, which is good.
Yeah, good stuff.
Definitely looking for some more backdoors than just the two pair draw.
And what did you think about the payouts of the final table in general when you were coming into day 3?
I thought they were pretty flat actually. Like,
Mhm.
so last year had 200 more runners,
Yeah.
but yeah, it kind of reminisces me of a certain site that I'm not gonna name, which yeah, I mean it pays up a bit more for ninth place than I did, or somewhat similar to ninth place as I did last year,
Yeah.
which just yeah, the
And
missing
last
prize
year
pool
was
basically is taken from the top,
yeah,
which
20x.
you could argue that it should.
20x ninth was the winner last year, right, or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and that's quite a jump.
Yeah, so they've definitely flattened that a bit out, which might be a bit better for the lesser um, seasoned players in the field.
Yeah, exactly.
They
But
actually get um, a bit more bang for your buck for actually running deep in a tournament, making the FT.
mhm.
Uh, but yeah, if you're like me, wanting to mainly win tournaments, it's it's a bit
Bit of an
less than
inconvenience.
ideal. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe we'll take it though. Yeah, I would have taken the 80k with a very happy smile on my face.
absolutely.
But you're saying Michel definitely a Bumble enjoyer? You would be very much wrong, Andy.
It's like Senkel going on with the random curveballs of conversational
Yeah,
starting. What's wrong with Bumble? What have you got against Bumble?
not much. Just
Yeah, just not your way to go.
not a great success. Yeah,
No,
much prefer Tinder Premium.
you could just link the mob straight there. You
Yeah,
know.
I mean I've got my winners photos on there and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
didn't seem to work.
Didn't seem to work.
Terrible.
Just a
Yeah,
little bit smarmy, maybe. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
They're like,
Too big of a trophy
look at
maybe.
this guy. Yeah, all right,
Yeah.
mate. You and your poker tourney. Flomo, welcome, welcome, welcome. I finally managed to get the payouts done for the
Oh,
command,
nice.
so hopefully that works. Let's have a
Give it a
look
little
now.
tester.
Don't let me down, Nightbot. There we go.
Oh, we saw do some stuff with the King 5-0 there versus UTG.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, on the A7-3 with two clubs,
Mm-hmm.
which might have been a contender to. I mean, besides folding pre,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, Queen Jack just correctly in the bin.
Tommy, Tommy.
He's definitely not afraid to put chips in where he believes he can put on ample pressure. That's for sure.
Yeah, he also made the final table of the 250 Bratislava deep stack,
Ah,
and
so you're saying we have a bunch of
uh,
very hot people,
yeah, I mean
hot running people
two
here.
final tables in two big fields. The Bratislava deep stack got about 380
Wow.
runners. This one getting a shade over 1,000. So to make two, yeah, fairly mass field tournaments and then the final table stage in the same week is quite some going.
Yeah,
And Tommy was on there and Gabriel was on there, and they both sat next to each other. And I remember Tommy, the Swedish gentleman, three betting 10-3 suited, small blind versus button,
oh,
checks the flop with essentially no equity, blocks a king on the turn, and then just jams 3.5x pot on just a random card on the river,
yeah.
and gets,
Basically saying good luck calling, sir.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
like, let's say it was like 10-4-4 or something, king turn, and ends up getting like nines to fold, just, but still being curious as to like what the hell is this guy rapping?
yeah. At some point when the bets get too big, you're
Yeah,
probably
yeah, you just
getting
kind
a
of like,
call more often than
mhm.
you are getting the fold when you're betting half pot in certain stuff.
Yeah, especially after he'd stabbed one big blind out of
Yeah,
position on the turn. So the moral of that was just to be aware that he is pretty capable. Sometimes seems like he's going to be quite loose passive, but he's definitely capable of pulling a move or two out when he needs it.
you see Christopher with another primed spot to just put in all his chips,
Yeah,
uh,
exactly.
swallow a bit versus the hijack three bet, hoping to not get absolutely snapped off
What did
here.
you think about the size of the three bet?
Sorry, I kind of missed it.
It was like 215 to 575.
Uh, yeah, I don't mind it.
A little too chunky on a final table, no? It's like
No, you
2.8,
definitely
no?
don't want to invite.
You don't want to. Yeah.
You don't want to invite him into playing post, even though you're
Mhm.
in position. Uh, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the smaller three bets in
Yeah.
general. So it's like
Okay.
see Sijevski just like having a bit of a rougher start to the FT, just getting caught with his hand in the cookie jar, so to say. That three bet,
Yeah,
but
that was kind of the scenario that you were giving us insight into earlier, right? It's quite frustrating, especially if you see relatively passive play or
yeah,
relatively standard kind of things going on around, and you're the one trying to make something happen.
yeah, or just like get hands that should three bet like King Jack, and then people waking up behind, of course.
Yeah.
You just yeah, it's a bit of timing that is a major part of Rangoon as well.
Mhm.
Like stealing the blinds a couple times and not having to wake up with it, or
Yeah.
not having to raise call in certain spots. See, say I go folded
Yeah,
deuces in the
variance within
hijack.
variance kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like the hidden Rangoon, so to say.
Mhm.
See, say I go full deuces here in hijack. It's kind of interesting having the chip leader to his direct left, and yeah,
That's
okay,
really tight, isn't it?
that wouldn't be me
Yeah.
from any position, to be
No.
honest.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
getting pipped across the deck. And we did see some stuff like this. This is why I said that he
yeah, and
did
here we
a
see Jack 7 off just folding in
yeah.
small. Yeah, I mean,
Also
this
a bit
is
of a
just.
red flag or
It,
red card.
a couple of people are getting sent off in this hand, to be honest.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
might see the VAR show up here. And just maybe I'll get a spot on the final table again.
Exactly. It's not fair. But for the most part, I think most of these players are playing for poker career or however they view their time spent playing poker as a defining part of
Yeah.
that chunk of time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
So there
they're
is,
playing for 160 buy-ins, right?
yeah,
It's very hard for not a full-time player to even get that amount of tournaments in say a 2-year span.
exactly.
So yeah, but yeah, the Polish
Yeah, that was a bit
champ, yeah.
disappointing. I wasn't
You
expecting.
definitely need to ramp up the aggression being chip lead here, especially in the lineup where all these players behind him are kind of similar stacked. Besides Tommy, maybe, but he doesn't mind getting in a pot with Tommy, to be honest,
Mhm.
uh, or shouldn't mind. And the other guys are just kind of praying to, yeah, to get a rejam through at some point, as we see Andy here getting dealt the A2 suited, and whew, and
Wow,
I
and
don't
does
think
get away with
Fashi
it.
looked at his cards, and he's happy at it. And I don't think,
That's good.
God,
It can only be at a negative free roll, right?
are you never look at your cards when it's folded to you?
Um, in a tournament, I don't think there's any upside to it.
I like seeing what I had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to treat myself with a bit of pain when
Treat
get
yourself with a
get
little bit of sour
yeah.
grapes when you get a walk in a big spot. And you're like,
Yeah, the game says never as well. Yeah,
I prefer not to. Yeah.
I don't know. I just at least you can't say you've been carded, when you've gone and walked with a premium.
That's one way of looking at it, I
Yeah,
guess. But
and the
then
other,
you didn't get any action anyway, so it's just
yeah.
going to be. I don't know. I feel like it can only bring more salt.
It's pretty fun as well when it's me in the big blind and someone jams. I was just like add a card and then another
One,
card.
two.
Yeah, just like
uh,
oh, like end of day two,
mhm.
small blind jammed for 25 effective or something.
Yeah.
I was like Jack, call. It's like up against Jack 10.
Good luck.
Yeah, call. Yeah, and then today someone jammed, I believe, hijack for 12 BB or something,
Yeah.
or no 15,
Mhm.
and it's like four fold. Just
Yeah, I'm out.
okay, got
Can't
bye.
call.
Don't need to see the other one.
No.
It just keeps it a bit of fun as well, a bit lighthearted at the table. Just seeing it do this and be like, okay, yeah,
All right, you
okay,
got
bye.
it, pal. What? You
That's
didn't
fine.
even see your other one.
Yeah, could have been a deuce as well. Yeah, okay.
Always look, embrace the pain, says Mr. Lidor. What do you think, Roning? Thanks for the kind words, by the way. It is definitely getting long into the week here at the festival, but we've still got a lot of work to do. 9 left, and this final table will be rocking and a rolling
Ooh.
for many more hours, that's for
See
sure.
Christopher treating himself to an overcall here with the ace 10.
Yeah,
Definitely recognizing Tommy's a bit at it.
that's
Uh,
certainly one
yeah.
upside, isn't it? So Rima now is opening 7-6 suited plus 3, but doesn't fancy the Queen Jack in the
Yeah,
cutoff.
that's a bit of the thing that
The
I.
wrong way around, right? You
Yeah.
want high cards on final tables, not
Yeah,
these.
especially when you're opening in a bunch of rejam stacks, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It seems a bit.
Just random.
I
Yeah.
didn't even want to say random, just erratic.
Yeah, erratic is
Uh,
good, yeah.
Just
Maybe it's
yeah, you see it a
it's
bit online as well on when you see the final table replays,
hmm
which I guess aren't much different than this final table.
no. But you mean
Seeing
like
people just opening a hand and then they orbit the next orbit. They get a slightly better hand in earlier position and or in a later position. They just muck that and you're like,
yeah.
but where's that?
Is it
So
just
sometimes
like
it
a
doesn't link up. Yeah.
do you think it's just like based on an intuition or a feeling that they have? Is
It,
that what they're
it
working off
it's
or?
probably some kind of feel or just
Yeah.
yeah. You
I
you
don't
could just
fancy
be on
this
a
one.
small rush and be
Yeah.
like Remar could have felt carded for a bit and might have
Mhm.
picked something up from big blind even who
Yeah.
had kings. Uh, that could be a real thing where
Potentially.
he just
That's
observed the table and
so
saw him look at his
saw the
cards as
big
he.
blind fall out of his seat. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
oh, and we see Remar correctly fold to 7-6
Yeah.
of spades, and now
Would have been a juicy turn.
regretting his life, but there's still the club flush draws out there,
Mhm.
and some better hands like ace 5 sevens. Mm.
And are we going to see Tommy go for the second barrel here? Because we did see the rather unorthodox style. He would, I would guess he goes for like the small size down. Yeah.
He's an ambus bet, which seemed like 450. Yeah, Christopher, kind of an interesting spot, but I don't think you want to do any jamming here.
No.
Uh, it's gonna be really bad to get snapped off, especially with Tommy's range having
Just all
a
sorts.
very big part of suited hands, which you only have 20% yourself against.
And he's capable of even having hands like 9-8 off, you know,
Yeah,
so it's
exactly.
like,
Yeah, we
it's,
saw the 10-9 off
yeah.
yesterday, beating Jonathan Wede's pocket jacks on the
Hmm.
10-9 board.
Yeah. So, a real,
Definitely something to keep in mind when playing against players like this that
yeah,
give a lot of action. You need to have some balls in calling down, but also recognize that okay, there's a bit more nuttedness than you might see in
yeah.
a normal hand available. But that also means there's more air, right?
More random hands,
Yeah,
exactly, yeah. And also, Tommy, we did see him sizing schemes were usually somewhat indicative of,
hand strength.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, definitely.
I hadn't picked up too much on it, but yeah, obviously.
Like randomly sizing down is like an uncommitted bluff or a hand like this that doesn't feel that they can match the size and the relation to the pot as the previous action.
Oh, as we see a raise come in, this is a bit.
This is a bit like I've got equity I'm raising, right?
Yeah,
I'm
the
sure.
problem is if Tommy says all in here,
Yeah,
you're not very much loving life,
I
right?
really don't want to raise call.
I mean, I guess you kind of have to give him maths.
Yeah,
But like,
but
yeah, what do you give him, right?
opening the door to that.
Tommy can just have fives or sevens, and you're
Yep,
just uh,
you're just looking for a club, and
you're 2.5 or 1.5 feet out the door, right?
mhm.
Which you really don't want to put yourself in these spots.
And like your opponent's not probably not going to fold ace jack, ace king, ace queen. I
No.
mean, he might have. He probably three bets ace king,
Yeah,
but
ace king
it's
definitely seems like a
hard to
three
say
bet hand.
what sort of hands that he's got in this flatting range, how strong his ace X could be. But yeah, I don't think this really achieves an awful lot. It's kind of like, oh, I've got a club. Um, I might just raise it up. His bet looks weak, but not
Yeah,
really fully considering
yeah,
the
it's a bit weird.
decisions beyond that.
Obviously, given this reaction by Tommy, it's just like,
I did. It's
yeah,
the hand's over at this
yeah.
stage, right?
I mean, you can still call, and
Maybe. Let's
then
see.
just gets put in the blender on the river, of course, on some board changing stuff.
Yeah, I've
Because
yet.
you're not really fist bumping when like the or I guess you are, but like a three or an eight still make some better hands. Obviously, being there for Christopher, who's gonna have some relatively what do you call that? Significant part of just nut flushes, right?
Yeah.
Which thought, okay, Tommy can have a straight, Tommy can have a set. Let's put more money with those hands instead of awaiting some board changing river again.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden your flush is looking like, okay, a bluff catch. Yeah, it just folds like he's telegraphed a minute ago. Yeah, seems like a fair hand. Um, the way S played, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Would you like a water or anything? Gonna go and grab
sure. Yeah,
myself one. That's what I do.
I'll take a bit of a break as well. So we'll be right back in a minute.
Queen Jack. We're back, and it's Reimar who finds the open with the kings this time. We were speculating as to whether he was missing out on getting in the mix, but it's certainly playable with number two here. And yes,
Yeah,
go,
yes, go.
showing some final table awareness there.
Yeah, definitely don't want to throw that even that
Yeah,
much against your plate open. So uh, yeah,
you just peel jacks here on the big blind.
you probably should be. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Um, if I'm actually doing it is another question. That it kind of depends on how the opener is playing as well. If it's a guy that takes every suited ace, as some charts suggest, you should be
yeah.
like very much rejamming aggressively against three bet. Then you can just yeah take some wider value range.
But in reality, unlikely to be occurring here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean they're also like very easy to use as bluff catchers, right? You
Yeah,
just have a pair, okay,
have a
you call
pair
down a
and
couple times.
call down a couple of streets.
Yeah, probably
Go
be
go.
comfy because there's mostly not gonna be much money get put in as we see kings check back turn, um, which I Yeah, I mean, just very easy bet after he's bet small. Disco is definitely looking to get the showdown here, thinking his hand is good, like the overwhelming majority of the
Yeah,
time. Uh,
very comfortable now,
but
but
yeah, he's just running into the river full house of chip lead. So he's probably losing some chips here, to be honest. Um, there's some give ups that now are gonna feel mandatory to fire again, like Jack 10, Queen Jack, Queen
yeah,
10, Queen 9, all the like high card
Jack 8 suited,
garbage,
Queen
basically.
8 or something like that.
Yeah. Kind of
Well,
depends on how much chip leaders open. It's go really tiny on the river.
yeah,
Which I guess, yeah, just
almost
easy.
insulting of a size, isn't it? You just kind of
Yeah,
put it in.
this is like okay. I want to induce, I guess. Don't see another reason for this. It's just um,
What
yeah.
are we inducing here?
Well, we want to raise and
Yeah,
then
but what would
yeah,
consider
exactly.
raising on this texture, right? Or this run out from
I mean,
UNESCO?
maybe if he has like 5-4, just blocking some other stuff, but um, or just like random high cards, right? Like 8 high with a backdoor flush draw, like I don't know, some sixes that wrap around the five a bit. And those could also just check raise flop, which you might be missing. Oh wow, that's a very disciplined, good
That's a
fold.
really
Yeah,
disciplined fold there. It's
probably
so
definitely
easy to,
seeing what he's up to there.
yeah, you can kind of soul read him there.
Yeah, they
Um,
definitely missed out on some turn value there, and instead went for a very curious river size, which did not get rewarded, rightfully so, to be honest.
yeah, and I think what Peter's thinking there is just like that he's not going to give his opponent credit for finding bluffs for that size, even though, you know, mathematically you'd think, well, I'm getting X price and I need to call this amount of my range. What actually happens, I think, for humans when they do that size is they're on the final table, for example, as the chip leader, it's just going to be a greedy, I want
Yeah,
to get called
yeah,
most of the
probably.
time
I think
with some kind of hand like queens or king X.
it also helps that he's gonna get the information in like 30 minutes.
Bit later on, yeah.
Yeah, which
But
I'm gonna assume both of them will still be around given the stacks
yeah,
and given the pace of play in this past hour. You see Pavlu probably opening the button with ace eight off. Could consider an open jam,
yeah,
but
thinking that.
I yeah, I don't know if you wanna play that much in terms of open jams, but it's definitely a contender. Just goes for the min raise though, which is obviously very good. Um, Ilya and Peter might both three bet to
Yeah, these are
some
the two
frequency. Yeah,
types of players that I think are going to find a decent enough response.
yeah.
So
You know, they might not find all of them,
yeah,
or
but
might
an
not assume they find all of them. But at
enough,
least you're getting three bet some bigger percentage of the time. That's not
yeah, that's
non-zero.
non nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So you don't
and
know
so would
Peter's
that
card
mean
here?
that we are more incentivized to just want to jam, and we do see Peter there
No,
reaching
I
the
mean not
position?
really. You just build your strategy on how you're supposed to play, right? And then you might deviate from it by
Play a bit tighter, four bet,
yeah,
four
you
bet.
can deviate it in a way where let's say okay, you can maybe open more because you're getting away with more opens. But we see Peter three bet here again, and
And
yeah,
6-0, there we
yeah,
go.
exactly. We see the type of hand that um, you might not expect many people to show up with here.
No,
No.
outside of online, a lot of the time people in live just simply don't find these
Yeah,
spots.
and
So
these are really nice hands where you want to basically only three bet and not call these types of holdings.
ooh, that's a beat.
Been
Look at the
pulling a bit much
stare.
on my hoodie, so it's like somehow gotten a hole in it. Oh
What
well.
do you do when you face these like almost comical sort of aggressive stare downs from these kind of players?
I mean, I can stare back. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, hey, it's more than seeing the eyebrows go in frowny a bit.
Yep.
It's mostly happens in spots where they want to fold.
Where they're just annoyed.
Yeah, they're just like a bit curious, but then
A bit curious, but
can't
not
really.
enough to do anything about it,
Yeah,
right? And they just want to
like if he just has, I
make.
don't know, queens there, he's not gonna be all angry looking at you. It's just,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
it's gotta.
we did see Peter almost sort of break into a smirk at the
Yeah,
side. It's
exactly.
kind
Yeah,
of like, all right, you're folding then.
yeah, yeah. It's funny when you're actually next to each other as well, right?
Yeah, yeah,
There's some very comical
yeah.
photos of that during some high rollers where I believe it was Stephen Chitwick and some other regular that really likes to stare people down.
Um, oh, who's the guy? Not Bonomo, right? It's more of.
It could have been Bonomo.
It could have been Bonomo.
That
Bonomo's a bit of a starer.
they were right next to each other and just kind of looking each other dead in the eyes. Like you were kind of wondering, are they gonna
Are they gonna kiss?
yeah they gonna kiss or are they gonna fight? You know? Yeah, exactly. As Ilva says, like,
hmm
stare downs when you're this close together.
Yeah, I,
It can be
I
really
wouldn't be
funny.
able to help from laugh.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
don't take myself that seriously to go for like the full 45-second stare down.
I mean, it can be fun at times when you're playing some post flop hand, especially when there's some more information to be gained.
Rather than the pre-flop kind of trying to stare into the abyss as if you're going to pick up anything.
Yeah, exactly. Do you see Pavlu pick up another nice one now? Gets the open. Um, you see kind of the same. Was a bit afraid he was gonna snap back there, but he's taking his time a bit against the 2.75x, which is obviously gonna take into account a bit lesser of the non-all-in options, which I was thinking about. Like,
Yeah, definitely. It's just I think we're just jamming here, right? Versus the
yeah, you just take it.
side.
Yeah, as you said. Yeah,
Yeah, it's quite unorthodox. The
Peter
2.75x
once
there.
again not showing his cards, kind of getting the old. I think it was Phil Ivey that didn't like that,
Yeah,
like to
yeah.
do that.
Puts them on like the side of the scanner on purpose.
Yeah, just feel like, oh yeah,
And
I put him there.
feigns ignorance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just giving away as little information as he possibly can,
Mhm.
which Peter being I believe a Slovak regular,
Yeah, live pro.
both in here and around the country. Um, yeah, he realizes that some information is better to keep hidden. You know, he
Absolutely.
might have made a very big fold there, and we'll never know.
Yeah, exactly. Because they were on the edge of the
Yeah,
edge of
like
the reader.
yeah, he's fold already.
Thanks for the raid, ever Kim. Stare downs when you are 20 centimeters from each other is a bit fun, and she's saying, "Are we drinking some apple juice?" I think
No.
your apple juice tenure is over this week, right?
Well, I've had one drink after I busted
Yeah.
some nice Glenfiddich, but yeah, we'll keep it at one.
Mhm. Just the water for me.
Yeah,
It's the way to go.
you gotta be serious here in the commentary booth, you know. No,
Not sure about that, but definitely got to stay awake.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, you've had an
Mhm.
interesting
Yeah,
night, little.
had
So
some degen grinding. I mean, these kind of games that pop up where you get a player that's three betting like 100% of the time, and then like 4/5 betting almost the similar thing. It does become a little bit flippaments and
yeah,
based on which seat you have and card distribution. So
that was fun walking into the casino and seeing you there, and so some other guys, and it definitely looked like the entire table had not left their seats.
yeah, yeah, pretty
Uh,
much.
and definitely got the vibe from talking to you and
hmm
some other guys that were there.
That we were all just
Yeah,
getting battered, basically.
we see a bit of chips being taken out of play here, making the stacks a bit more readable for everyone. You see Remar with Jack 10 suited in big blind. First open from Ilya. Could have jammed, maybe. Uh, but taking the safer route, obviously. Jack 10, always happy to see a flop. Or mostly happy to see a flop.
Yeah, I quite like
Uh,
the option to
yeah.
jam.
Might be a bit intimidating, given the amount of chips and the size of the spot that it is.
Yeah.
Um, not aware
What's the
if our
raise
chip
fault?
leader has any big scores to his name. I've not.
No, no, just
No.
the Bratislava deep stack, of course.
All right, just that one.
Yeah,
Okay, so
and
it's
about
really.
6k on Hendon apart from that.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay, so
so like
really.
super low stakes stuff in Czech Republic and and a couple of like what €100
It's a
events
really
here.
nice background for him then.
Mhm.
Nice. Yeah. That might explain some of the falls he's been making.
Yeah.
Not wanting to blunder into some bad race calls.
Mhm.
Uh,
But I mean, the race fault gap for Savievsky here is just insane, right?
oh yeah, of
Like,
course.
what can he even call?
I
Um,
mean, if
Ace King 10, something like that.
it kind of depends on how he views Reimer to rejam, right?
Yeah.
If Reimer is taking all the suited tens and some probably
Ace Deuce
offsuit
suited or something.
aces,
Yeah, ace,
yeah, all
ace.
that kind of
Yeah,
stuff, then you might go down to like ace queen
yeah,
of the suited variety. But yeah, then I don't think the payouts help too much with how much you're allowed to call here.
yeah. It's not like
Uh,
you're incentivized
yeah, you're
to
not.
play for the win with
Yeah,
it being so
exactly.
flat.
Like last year, there were some spots where I took some really thin race calls.
Yeah.
Maybe you remember the queen jack suited.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh, that even though that was four-handed, I believe, with me obviously having a lot of the chips in play already.
Yeah.
But those types of spots definitely show up more often when you're opening a very wide range, as Sayevsky was doing here, and also the win takes out so much more of the prize pool than it does this year. Yeah, we see Reimer even laying down here after he went check turn.
Yeah. Getting away. Whether that indicates a theme of overly eagerness to take the passive option, or whether that just indicates someone that's seeing something that we're not around the
Yeah,
table and making just
could be a bit of both.
yeah.
I mean, the one kind of naturally follows the other,
Mhm.
where a strong read might lead to more folds than it does calls in certain spots. Especially, you're mostly looking for strength when bluff catching. Uh, or maybe not, but it's one of the easier things to identify instead
What
of
if
the
someone's confident and
yeah
yeah,
when they're just like their whole demeanor is like confidence
yeah,
value bet, and in this spot especially where it's just like check turn and then all of a sudden an ace hits after c betting flop, you're like, okay, that's
yeah.
a large part of the
That lines
opponent's
up
check
well.
back anyways. Yeah,
Yeah,
like story checks out. So it could be just mainly that, as we
yeah,
see Ilya wake up with another hand. It's definitely getting the after. I think we saw like minus 700k last time we saw the stats,
yeah. The
and
king jack off three
yeah,
bet not working out, running into
yeah,
whoa, hello.
catching a bit of hands. It could be interesting to see what Rimar's strategy is gonna be here. Ace Queen, definitely a contender to just three bet. But having seen some of the more passive options, we might see him flat here, which could also be leading with Tommy being in the big blind,
Yeah, exactly. That's not a
facing the
bad
2.5x as well.
eventuality. Facing 2.5, got a player behind it, the big blind that he's somewhat incentivized to allow to come in with all the wider, worse variety of hands.
We at least see him grab chips,
This
which
this
bit
feels like a three bet demeanor, doesn't it?
yeah,
We can't quite see because of the hat of seat 6, but
yeah, it is definitely a three bet.
let's see what sizing it goes for. So they are 45 big blinds effective, and he's gone for 800.
Yeah, this
I
is
think that's pretty reasonable,
yeah,
right?
this is pretty
Just
reasonable.
over 3x out of position.
Yeah, kind of putting the pressure on Ilya here, being like, okay, what are you gonna do with your 4.5 million? As he just makes the relatively quick call. I
Relatively,
definitely
think a little
would
bit
take
longer.
some time, even
Yeah,
even if your decision is
even if
always
you're
gonna be
sure.
call. You know, like, you don't wanna be easily categorized in a certain amount of hands where
Yeah.
you're just playing a
Okay,
bit too face up,
he's
maybe.
called quite quickly. He's never
Yeah.
four betting type thing, or he's
Oh,
never
and what a
bluffing.
flop!
Wow.
Just all the equity in the world. I mean,
Yeah, so we've
i
got
i asking for two overs with a 10,
top pair backdoor
not
flush
the
draw
worst.
versus the open ender.
Yeah. You see Rimar definitely buried in his hoodie, thinking, please don't have jacks or nines.
Please.
Yeah.
And his
Yeah, this is
hand
gonna have.
shaking a little bit there. But
I mean, it can
as you
just
can
be a big
imagine,
spot, of course.
of course, it's a
And it
massive
goes for the
thing.
quarter pot here, or 550 instead of the 450. So slightly over quarter, slightly under a third. Um, definitely reasonable.
I think a good ballpark to be in
Yeah.
this kind of spot. I don't think we want to like be 15 or something on this
Yeah,
board.
no.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of the extremely tiny bets, but
No, I mean neither.
it just yeah, you
Let's see
you
what
you
we
gotta
actually
know what
achieve.
you're achieving. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And yeah, this seems reasonable. If we see a brick turn,
Oh wow.
that's not a brick. But I mean, tens is gonna stick around at least for one more small size bet.
Yeah, you can easily talk yourself into a
Definitely
lot.
don't want to be jamming this combination of ace queen.
No.
There's definitely no use to it. You have so much equity locked up already. Uh,
Do you
the
think he could even sometimes check and
checking could be a cool option, yeah, as he does.
yeah, I like this
I
actually.
think when you have aces or kings,
We don't
either with or without the heart, you don't really want to be putting in.
going three streets here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it tends just getting a free card here, also not the worst. There's some cards that, yeah, and we see a
Not that
brick.
one. Yeah.
Maybe ace queen goes for the double check here. I have to see that kind of fainting to be the ace king variety and
Some kind of
some
ace
some
five
other
of
scared.
diamonds or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, like some suited kings, but it just goes check 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 and yeah, just shows the winner. Obviously,
Ever consider like a B10 in position with Tavievsky? Is it just no, never?
no, you definitely don't want to reopen for that
No,
small.
no.
But you definitely with this type of hand where B10 only invites jams here,
It does, yeah. It
and
leaves the door open a little bit to
yeah,
hands that you just win versus now shoving on you
yeah,
potentially.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, no, he's never
Yeah, no,
calling with
he
tens
asked
there.
if he asked if he was gonna call if he bets river, and it's just like no, 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 no. Which yeah, makes sense. As you see the regression frequency, which might not be what we're feeling.
Yeah, it didn't feel
Yeah,
like that exactly. A
yeah,
couple of missed
yeah, yeah,
opens, but
definitely more the more active player
hmm
in terms of hand selection at least. And
yeah,
we saw Peter pick up a nice three bet bluff.
yeah. Peter was yeah
Sh-
showing someone that's done some work off the table as well there as
yeah,
well.
showing some
That's not
recognition of the game.
it's not intuitive whatsoever. The 8-6 there, and you'll just see it snap mucked for the most
Yeah.
part.
See two check ten offs, both hitting them.
hmm
That was halfway in the muck. Yeah, there it goes.
Yeah, both early position, not
Yeah,
looking to get in the
yeah,
mix.
no. Peter could treat himself to an open air. I
He's
don't
got
think.
the Polish chip leader on the button now, is he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that might definitely be.
a bit of a sway
Yeah.
again.
And the same with the ace eight. You might not wanna
Yeah.
put in that much. Yeah, I wouldn't expect button to fold here.
Not with much, and he does have
No.
Queen 9, which is
Give me two Yu-Gi-Oh card. Oh no, no, no,
whoa,
no! You can't be doing
no.
that.
That's the I'm stacking chips from the last hand, and I'm quite happy with where I'm at right now, isn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, but then again, you have Queen I know in
Yeah.
on the button as chip lead against.
It's just chippy V open, right? So
Yeah, very
yeah.
much so. that's the second time we've seen
Maybe
a
him
thing like
to
this.
potentially be a little fearful of the spot, and also with the ace queen, not finding a river bet there as well
Yeah.
could potentially lead to maybe being overly um, worried about some boats in his opponent's range or some sort of king 10.
Yeah, and just it can be quite comfy to just check call.
Yeah,
In that spot at least,
yeah,
I can see it being a nice spot to pick off some kind of bluff from your opponent.
yeah,
But yeah, just the folding queen, I know is just
yeah. A bit of a red card there
yes,
for sure. As
not
Tommy
the
is
first offense, is it?
Tommy's gone for the 2.6x open and
Oof, the
the
old
meaty bet.
the old
The
actual dirty diaper.
Yeah, that's the dirtiest of diapers.
Oh,
Nicely done there.
but yeah, nicely recognizing that his raising range is gonna
Yeah, be
just
the
hitting this board like quite hard.
goes for the old I'll raise the top and the bottom
Yeah,
strength.
he might be. Yeah, we can only assume so, right?
Yeah, they are. We can only see the cards and try
Yeah,
and
we can see one combination of hand, and then
mhm,
the rest is
do
up
our
to
best to
everyone's imagination.
do our best to join the dots here.
Yeah, exactly.
What have you got planned for the upcoming weeks?
Well, I'll be going home either this night or tomorrow, so back to
Hmm.
Vienna,
Yeah,
and then I'll be joining a couple friends in Prague for the early stage of the EPT there.
yeah. I guess we're getting a taxi back to Vienna after the
Yeah,
week. It's been
probably.
it's
Yeah,
not been too
it's
bad,
probably
right?
not great
Yeah,
to do a train when it's also been snowing for
yeah. Or the
terribly.
bus.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
With a fair few euros in your pocket, more than likely.
Yeah, no, it's definitely gonna be a taxi
The old
type
door-to-door
fee.
job. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and
Like
taxis here from Slovakia aren't too
it's like
expensive.
45 euros
Yeah,
probably.
it's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
It's like
It's not too bad at
three,
all.
4 times as much going from Vienna to here, which
Hmm.
definitely some yeah,
Treat yourself to the convenience, I think.
yeah, exactly. Just put it onto the bill
Hmm.
onto the expenses bill.
Taxis, apple juice,
Massage,
massage.
massages.
Yeah, yeah. Little Netflix subscription when you get home, a
Yeah,
couple of days.
the DTO sub monthly.
Yeah, yeah. The elite sub.
Yeah. To Christopher who's splashing a large raise here with the ace 5-0. I don't really know Andy's stack here. Ooh,
Oh no, just want to be jamming right
yeah.
with the
I mean,
with
you're
the ace.
not raise folding ace 5
No,
after you've gone a full 3x against this.
it's
Uh,
actually a bit gross when you do get shoved on after you've made it 3.6x, but obviously then
yeah,
folding.
then just maths happen. So you're
Yeah,
like all the suited broadways and pairs you're not even doing poorly against, right?
yeah, exactly. Kind of.
Especially putting in like over a third of his stack. It's
Yeah,
like, okay, oops.
yeah.
I think some people might forget that sometimes when,
And I think,
uh,
oh, I've run into it. Yeah,
yeah, like, oh, you have me, yeah.
yeah. You
And
got me.
you're
Yeah.
getting like 3 or 4 to 1. You're like, oh, you got me. Yeah. You're like, yes.
Yes, yes, I do.
Yes,
Yes, get
you
out.
have the worst answer. No flipping today.
Yep, I've got Queen Jack suited, desperate to pick that one up.
Yeah. It's nice getting those through.
Yeah, but a great start nonetheless for Christopheru.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's picked up some nice cold 4 and 3-bet jams,
Mm-hmm.
which
They
are a
really
main
help.
part of the FD swings when
Yep,
you can just run into it once there and just
and
be
it's
at the
yeah,
cage at the cash out there at
as you
the
said,
cash out table.
the run good within the run good.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
distribution and
Like you can get dealt ace king O as an open on the button and just get 2 folds or just
hmm
get this.
or yeah, just get an open and a three bet, and the three better is actually the player that's finding the three bet folds.
Yeah, exactly. As we see
Sadly,
Savevki here,
doesn't
just
treat
folding
himself
against
this
his
time.
short stacks open, not unreasonable.
Just
Could have done some 3 betting,
yeah,
but yeah, probably don't wanna commit yourself too much, especially given the tables
if he did make it
somewhat
like
loose players.
575, 600 there, what are you doing with the nines? Just it's kind
I
of
guess you
gross.
just say.
Yeah,
I guess when you make it small enough, you can just peel, but like you kind of just puke in your mouth,
yeah.
right?
These pairs go.
like EP versus EP, you're just like,
Yeah, they're just
okay, it's
shooting
just
down in
queens
value.
plus. Sigh.
Yeah,
You see the ace for this. Two tone. Tommy flatting cut off with queen 10 versus the small stack.
rather unconventional for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you can three bet it.
This
Uh,
looks like a pretty chunky c bet out of position
yeah,
here.
this seems like 300k
Yeah,
to 800.
325, I think.
So
Yeah.
nice little B40 here.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, might have just picked up that Tommy is a bit on the looser side in terms of flatting, so might want to protect his nines a bit here.
Yeah, just
Uh,
looking to get out the.
definitely any yeah completing turns or just flush completing turns or whatnot. They're n- not absolute bricks or an ace on the turn. It's just gonna be the end of the nines here.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to barrel twice here.
No, such a good card for your range, but such a.
Yeah, and he does
Whoa.
do it, but Tommy now with a gut shot as well
Yeah, he's not
on
going
top of
anywhere.
his second nut flush draw. You just yeah yeah this is just gonna be a call again.
Call again and jam the river when check two kind of spot, and
Yeah, or just
we'll
you
just
know
give up. Yeah.
can
Would.
still hit a jack. That's 13 outs again.
Mhm.
I played with him also at the latter end of day two, where he was contemplating some turn versus jam when he had a six high flush draw with a gut shot.
Oh, what? He was in the tank.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
very much in the tank for like 1.5x pots, and it was a pretty large pot. But same kind of idea, realizing that he does realize how many outs he has, and
Mhm.
that might be a bit scary to barrel into, right?
Yeah.
Where
This is someone
some people
that's.
might just be like chasing draws and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't want to be in this.
Tommy plays a lot of hands, and
And isn't fearful
yeah,
either. Looks like
yeah,
he's got the call
does
cut
call.
out there, and this is going to be really
Yeah,
spelling
this is
alarm
gonna be a
bells.
very alarming or a
Yeah.
very defining river for this FD, I feel. And ooh, oh my God,
Oh, it's
uh,
absolutely disgusting,
God,
as that is the one card that could be potentially sending Pavlu.
yeah, snap all in, snap call, goodbye,
Yeah.
good game, sir. Yeah, disgusting.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
absolutely ill for the
ugh,
Cypriot, as he did go for a rather unconventional double barrel, found what he thought to be the gin card versus the ace tens, the ace jacks, and instead runs straight into the flush
yeah,
of the tricky Swede Tommy there, rewarded for some bravery pre-flop, finding the peel, obviously never going anywhere on that particular run out, and Rivers Gin to send home Pavlu in ninth place for 7.3k. That's going to be a tough swallow for him.
yeah, God, that's definitely painful to just get the Gin River and just be exited out of the tournament, being dealt out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we see all eight remaining players lock up 8.8k now.
Yep.
The pay gems are gonna be kicking in or have kicked in already, but it's gonna be a bit more important every stage to survive here. Um, yeah, again, given the nature of the payouts, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
really interesting to see this dynamic emerge now
yeah.
with
Oh yeah.
Gabriel and Tommy on the direct left, and he's been kind of shy with the opens, and now maybe
Yeah, Gabriel is, if he's not been locked up yet, he's definitely gonna.
going to be wary of that now, having seen the Queen 10 suited there and being
Yeah,
like, ooh, okay, maybe I
maybe don't wanna
don't
play
want to
against a guy that can flat a lot.
play a 15 million pot against
Yeah,
this guy. Yeah,
which definitely might happen. Like Tommy's not shying away from raising flops.
yeah, no, King 5 suited again.
Yeah,
I'd
could
be
have
in.
treated himself to. Yeah, I'd be
I'd
in.
I'd be in.
Yeah,
And yeah, just relinquishing that one, just kind of looking over at the dangerous-looking player stacking chips on his direct left and thinking,
might be a good timing actually to while he still has the mess of chips in front of him and the cards not even fitting his box.
yeah, I could see a couple of the lower
I'll
ones
open.
just.
You keep stacking the chips.
Yeah,
I'll just open this
I'll
for you.
take this one. You take the next
Yeah,
one.
you see Andy would seems like the
Yeah,
very easiest jam
very
ever on the
clean
button.
button pickup.
Yeah, yeah, we see it.
And there's no messing around here with half your stack or anything like
Yeah,
that. You
no.
just
Being
clear
very clear
shortest.
last in chips, you just don't want to give him any opportunity to do anything funky.
No, absolutely not.
So yeah, nice little pickup there. Maybe a bit of a change of momentum for Andy Dufresne.
Hope so. So 8 left. The player's taking a little bit of time to get themselves a bit more comfortable moving around the table.
Yeah, Christopher asking Tommy to like, could you move a bit the other way? And he's like, give me like half an hour to move my chips. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You'll be next on the list, pal.
yeah. Watch your words, sir. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how Tommy plays against the other big stacks here.
Yeah,
Definitely. I mean, he's
he's
shown to not shy away
he's
from
the
any
type of
aggression.
player that I feel might have the gear to really kick on and leave
Oh
them
yeah,
in
absolutely.
in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, that might be a problem for our Polish chip lead right now. Having a guy like that be fearless and just
Mhm.
kind of perpetuating the tightness that has to follow from that.
Yep.
See, Christopher folding the offsuit king here, and Ifashi throws up both hands and says, "All my chips, sir."
Not really a decision for Yesko here with the
Nah,
A6.
you feel you have a lot of equity and be ahead a lot of the time. Same with the king
Ooh.
jack here, which I think just has to go in.
Yeah, we're at the 120k big blind
Yeah,
level and he does
does fold.
fold.
Might think there to be a couple better spots in the future for him, but it's a button jam for
12.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're just miles ahead of all of the Broadway combinations. We're not doing terribly versus some of the weaker ace-x, of
yeah,
course.
exactly.
Even hands like ace-10, it's essentially a flip, and
Yeah, pairs
all of
definitely
his
flips. Yeah,
pairs, and he's just going to have full frequency jack-10, queen-jack
yeah.
suited.
Might even offsuit variety.
Yeah,
Just
and
stick it in.
king-7
Be
suited,
like
as we saw as
two more
well.
two more people. Yeah, and king seven definitely has the benefit of folding out a bunch of better, as you saw, two much better hands fold.
Absolutely, yeah. So good job and well executed there.
Yeah, nice little pickup. And definitely don't want to be folding or bleeding to death here, especially. I mean, it's hard to when it's harder in the spots where payouts are just that close together.
Hmm.
But Fashi definitely recognizing that you can't just wait for his neighbor to bust there. As we see a walk given to the Spanish player who just has King Queen O in a big blind. Getting told nice hand? Yes, it was. Seeing Andy here with 10 bigs and from +2, going for the jam again with the King Queen O. See if anyone shows up with better. Wouldn't hope so for his sake. But poker happens as we see Ace Jack suited in small blind. That's gonna be a big all-in for our short stack player. And Sayago just asking for a count to make sure to compose himself and contemplate his
Just going to go
options.
for the call
Just
fold,
just
I guess.
calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're off to the races.
We are indeed, as it's Germany versus Spain here, 42 versus 58. Can the Germans stay alive?
Could have been a classic Euro 20 or 2006 game. 208.
Yeah, two titans of the
Yeah.
footballing nations.
So we go to the flop, which oof,
Ooh, and it does come king high. Gut
with
shot lurking with the overcard.
doesn't want to hit two pair here.
Absolutely not. That's a pretty safe turn.
Oh, the eight now
Oh,
comes
that's
in.
a
No,
double
no, no,
gutter.
no,
I
no,
didn't
no.
see that one.
Don't surprise yourself.
Wakey, wakey. And there's the king. So nice clean hold in the
Black
end.
paint, but it's good.
Black paint indeed. And yeah, a little bit sweaty with the double gutter and the overcard, but does manage to fade. And that's a nice momentum shifter for the German. Got a shove through a couple of hands ago, and now with those extra blinds and antes, gets a little bit of added juice on the double up. And he's well in the hunt here with about 20 big blinds now. As Jesko does his best to muffle the annoyance at not getting that pay jump. It's a 3 buy-in pay jump right now, the 1500.
Ooh. Yeah, and those definitely count when you're on the FT being like, why can't the shorty just bust?
Yeah, please, just make my life a little bit easier here.
Just
1500 extra.
see him show up again in the rearview mirrors, be like, some objects do appear closer than they appear to,
Than
you
they
know?
seem. Yeah. It's all getting a bit hazy. And Mr. Leader saying he's played lots of hours with Tommy and he is a tricky player and completely fearless.
Absolutely
Yeah,
true.
and
Yeah.
that certainly plays into his hands and his hands only, as he's
Yeah.
got himself into a rather envious situation here with 8 left and all of the momentum on his side, and we've already seen the chip leader tend to respect that dynamic. So Vaxi with the King 10-0 +2.
Yeah, opening off a very short stack, so people definitely not too incentivized to put more money in than he already is.
Absolutely.
But then it's Tommy in the big blind,
Tommy in the big blind with the
and he's
6-4.
seeing three.
We know he's not going anywhere. So could be some tricky boards to navigate with the
Yeah.
King 10 here.
Yeah, the low boards definitely in these kinds of spots are just very grim for him.
And
Oh,
there is
hello.
one.
Might just see a lead here.
Yeah, do we think that Tommy is the kind of guy
Nope.
that's going to find leads? He
But
does
yeah,
go for the snap
snap
check
check back, which not unreasonable.
and
And
allows his opponent to catch up to a 10 on the
hello.
turn. And now he chooses to put some
Yeah,
of those newfound chips to work.
250.
250.
Goes again for the slightly under half pot size here.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely a common theme.
a little bit of a
crossing.
feeler.
Yeah,
Yeah, kind of.
and just gets slammed on,
Yeah,
which, yeah.
on the double flush draw texture. I think fair enough, really.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to get snapped off here by big blind, to be honest, after
No,
leading.
no.
You're like,
Praying for
ah,
5 seconds, and once you've made the 5 seconds, you're like,
oh,
okay,
okay,
and
okay,
relax.
yeah, okay. Not 8-4, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Not 7x of diamonds or
Yeah.
6x of clubs, you know.
It's really tough to see the 4-3 off here, just beating you in the pot, isn't it?
Yeah, man. Definitely been there before where it's just
Yeah.
like the lead and you just jam your turn top pair and
Ah.
get really similar spots to these. And they
Mhm.
just, I turned the straight.
Yep. I got it.
Flopped
pal.
it. Gets called.
Whoa.
And that's,
Wow.
yeah.
Tommy going for the jugular here.
Yeah, Tommy maybe putting his opponent on some kind of combo draw, which is definitely not unreasonable to have, like
Definitely not
a couple
unreasonable.
clubs, ace high
Yeah,
clubs,
Queen
ace high
Jack
diamonds
clubs,
even.
something like that.
Yeah. Like kind of putting the. It's weird. Yeah, this is a almost 4 million chip pop.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah, and if Tommy wins this, it's just very much chip lead now.
Absolutely. With all
Big
the
river.
momentum in his sails,
And it's
but
the
does
ace.
brick it on the ace of clubs as Vaxi allows himself a little bit of celebration
Yeah.
in the limelight of a big double up there.
Get the Hakuna Matata in there.
What a
You'll have to
wonderful
see.
phrase.
Yeah, Tommy definitely put into a spot there, and now in clear middle of the pack. Really, again, not that that really discourages him from playing many pots, seeing many flops. It changes his dynamic a bit if he has 8 million instead of the four he has now.
Absolutely. Could have seen him really kick on, but instead banished back to the middle order.
Yeah,
And
it's a bit
yeah,
of a roller coaster ride, which you would assume for a
exactly
player like this. Yeah,
playing that kind of style, that kind of VPIP. Just kind of
probably not the first time that he's been in a bit of a roller
that
coaster
he's been
in his
swinging.
career. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean he is from Sweden, where some of the tournaments I think go a little bit under the Hendon Mob radar.
yeah. I've
Um,
been told there's right now there's some tournament in Sweden as well going on.
oh yeah, which
Yeah.
is like untracked,
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, that's I think it's the Swedish Championships. Might even be.
right?
I saw that you got shown the payout structure. It only paid 8% of the field.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so that was an interesting one. This one
interesting.
obviously paid only 12.5%, which I really like as well.
Hmm.
Kicking it up to 8 definitely kicks up the variance as well
It does,
on the
but
swings.
also as a traveling circuit pro, you're kind of looking for that in some ways
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
you want to have the most money up top.
More bubble time, more
Yeah,
time to apply the pressure, build the stack.
yeah. So you see Andy announce a raise, I believe.
Yeah, fair enough.
Again with the King Queen O. And about Tommy is seeing his previous results, only one cash
One
surprisingly
cash, yeah, on
on the
Hendon.
track.
On the
Yeah,
track, yeah, the main cash in the FPS Paris
who
main.
knows? He might have been absolutely cleaning up the Swedish streets ever since he was allowed to play cards.
Exactly. Well, maybe Mr. Lido could give us some
Yeah,
insight into
please.
that, because he says he's played lots of hours with Tommy. So whether they're playing cash games or tournaments remains to be seen. But we know for sure that he's going to get already one flag from Bratislava, from the Bratislava deep stack
Yeah.
that went earlier on in the week, where he came fourth or fifth, I believe, after a similarly turbulent final table, as his style naturally
Yeah.
would encourage. And Cristoforo with the Jack 6 suited here.
Probably seeing three here.
Yeah, I
High
guess.
card equity is also just too good.
Hmm. So you're folding some like six deuce of diamonds here,
Yeah,
and yeah,
you are folding a decent chunk of suited hands still. Um, but yeah, just the jack high is
a
just
bit too
not
good at
hitting the
these low
mark
SPRs,
too
right?
often. Yeah,
Flopping top pair and kind of going with it.
yeah. It's more the offsuit variants where you have to be on the very tight side.
This is interesting. Maybe a board that he might consider leading with that gut shot.
And yeah, I don't believe you want to. Like,
No?
especially what we just said, like not having the offsuit hands.
Yeah.
If this were, let's say, button big blind,
Yeah.
you would have 7-4 off.
Hmm.
You would have 5-6 off.
Yeah. But this,
Um, 4-3 off. Yeah, all those hands.
so you'd want a bit more of a connected texture
Yeah,
rather
well,
than this is a bit too
yeah.
low, I guess,
In
right?
this spot, you just don't have all the offsuit hands, and you might not even defend 7-3, 7-4 suited, right?
Hmm.
So, I mean, might be defending 7-4 suited, but
Yeah.
you just end up with a lot fewer combos than you actually would think. You'd be like, oh yeah, this is a good board for big blind.
Yeah.
When in actuality, not really. Yeah, because you don't have any offsuit two pairs, which also lead to UTG only wanting to mostly bet big on these boards
Yeah,
if
big or
they're
check.
betting. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's kind of a natural progression of both of those.
Yeah. And big bets would be like over pairs and then maybe
Yeah,
like a
just like
10-9 of hearts or
the
something
first
like
over
that.
pairs.
Yeah.
You can put in some spades in there,
Hmm.
like random 8-9. 10-8.
Yeah,
If you're opening those,
yeah,
of course. Like
which is tough to
the
find.
the king 8 suited definitely getting there.
Yeah,
There's some relevance to the 7 mostly.
yeah, just achieve a lot by folding the king X hands that dominate us right now
Yeah,
as well.
like washing away some equity, right?
Hmm.
Like Jack 6 still a straight draw, still an overcard.
Yeah,
Yeah, they can still bluff as we see.
exactly. Giving himself some options and not being short of a few outs
Yeah,
versus continue.
I didn't mind the king queen jack, like, especially without the suits. It's just like,
Yeah,
it's very nice to check those back and then having maybe some amount of kings and queens that you might wanna not putting all the money right away. So might use those as traps and then it nicely lines up with the king queen.
yeah.
So yeah, definitely would say just say a well played hand.
Tommy was the second best Swede in the 2016 WSOP main event,
Oh wow.
placing in the top 150. Wow, how can we not find him on the mob? Any idea if he's got some kind of other alias? Tommy Alm. Let's go with Alm. No, that's a bit too short.
Oh.
Oh, Bo Alm. Here we go. Ah,
Aha.
we've got a
Haha.
secondary mob. And yeah, we do see that cash for 148 for 50k in the 10k WSOP main. And then
Right. So
also
definitely.
some coverage across. Oh, he actually got 7th in the Bratislava Deep Stack, beg my pardon. And a min plus cash in the 2.7k EPT second chance in 2023. So it was at the Barcelona main.
Yeah. So definitely a more experienced player
Yeah,
in the tournament scene at least.
absolutely.
It might get tricky with some players choosing to opt out of the Henda mob as well
Yeah, you never really
for
know what you're
privacy
up against.
reasons or
Yeah,
whatnot.
privacy or
Uh, yeah, so there's definitely some information that you can't keep hidden, besides not showing the whole cards as Peter has been. There's a yeah, it's all part of the game, and obviously for privacy reasons, you can't really force people to get shared everything about them.
no, especially for some of those nations that fall under some pretty penal tax
Yeah,
conditions as well.
uh, first coming to mind being the Germans.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
seeing unknown player cash a tournament, you
Hmm.
can usually assume it's
So German online reg or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. See Tommy
Who just
limping in cut off here.
didn't fancy moving to Vienna or something.
Yeah,
Just kind of enjoys his home comforts.
seeing Tommy in the limp
Yeah,
here.
mixing it up, finding some limps. Got a couple of short stacks behind him.
Especially with the snap check with the sevens here, it's kind of interesting. Could have put it all in there.
Yeah, 30 bigs.
Yeah.
Maybe the first time that he might have seen a limp in this kind of configuration,
Yeah.
so just wanting to maybe take the passive route and
Can be hard to play with, and I've seen Tommy show up with some limp UTG with pocket queens as well.
yeah,
So
yeah, he had
he,
aces actually in the deep stack.
oh really? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
definitely, so it takes a bit of everything in the limps. So that makes it a bit tricky to play against, of course, because you can't really assume a certain hand strength when people do it. As we see him turning the best card in the deck,
yeah, pretty gin.
turning a bit of two pair, and again, yeah, just
Yeah, the 8 versus the specific holding gets a little bit less credit than the turn king, of course,
yeah,
but
exactly, yeah.
about as good as it gets. Let's go
And
for the size
river
down
another,
and
just check checks. Yeah,
oh,
probably missed out on some value there.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely would have got half pot to
yeah,
potentially come along.
would have felt obliged to call there as well.
I think so. If you consider that he's going to have probably loads of hands like Queen 10 off and Jack 10
Yeah,
off and maybe even a random 10-9 and all of this kind of thing, the sevens would have been Very reasonable call down
Yeah,
there.
especially it's not too big of a bet. You're just like, okay, there's
Hmm.
a pair on board. It's hard to have trips,
He's got a,
especially when it's the ace and
yeah,
he's assuming
he's got some random
top.
tendencies and lots of lots of aggression with these kind of smaller sizings with just about anything. So
Yeah, but yeah, taking the bit more cautious route there with the king eight might have hurt him a bit there.
just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
Those couple of big blinds, or even 4 or 5 that he could have picked up.
yeah, they compound a bit.
They
Yeah.
definitely do, yeah.
So you say I go opening the 10 9 suited.
Hmm.
Haven't seen much of him this final table yet.
Been quite quiet, probably.
Besides, I mean, besides the ace jack suited,
Yeah,
losing to king queen, of course. Yeah, looking to gain a bit of wind in his sails again.
absolutely. Taking any open he can find and does get
Yeah.
it
Oh,
through to
nope.
the
Never mind.
button. Oh, oh.
Nice little save on your sentence there.
I thought we'd already lost the German, but there he
Yep.
is lurking with the ace queen. And going
Being
to
a
be
bit
a
of a nemesis for our Spanish player here.
absolutely when he gets shoved on, and now all of a sudden he's down at the sort of 25 big blinds. Yeah, he's just going to send that one in.
Yep. Oh, and Peter just
Wow.
waking up with the fish hooks here. Yeah, that's
Yeah, this is certainly going to be cutting the mustard.
yeah.
Your opponent can shove hands like tens, nines,
Oh, absolutely,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, and he just
Yeah, it's going to go with
immediately
it.
realizes it's
It's,
like, if I die, I die.
I
That's
die, I die. It's a massive flip,
yeah.
and unfortunate not to see the underpair, but does have the equity advantage, of course.
So standing up.
Yeah, trying to eke out a couple of extra percent.
Yeah.
Let's
I mean, you
see.
kind of need an extra 10 to be a flip, you know. So you deserve to stand. Oh, ooh,
Ooh, Peter.
yeah. That's gonna be a tough ask for the ace queen now. Gonna need some three G
Oh,
draws.
hello
Hello,
there. So 3 remaining, as you
laughing
can
it in,
see. Nice.
and boats up.
Yeah, very happy with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, unfortunate there. Great spot, just ran into a hand behind. Not
Ten
an
nine suited would have flopped the open end
flopped the
straight
open
flush
ender
draw.
and
Backdoor
backed into
trips. Yeah.
trips. Yeah.
And wouldn't have seen a flop anyways,
No,
as he
exactly.
didn't. But yeah, so we lose the frame, and the rest of the players locking up their first, or
Yeah, 5-figure score.
yeah,
That's a pretty nice milestone for any player.
yeah, it's definitely something you look for when playing the
500s,
500s. Yeah,
300s, and 250s and stuff like that, which is mostly what's on offer here for the local events.
yeah. The events at Banco are really nice to start off playing live mostly, and
Yeah, just getting the reps in, right?
yeah, exactly.
And
When
that's what Peter's done. I mean, his Hendon mob is 150k across like 2 or 3 years of live grinding, where his
yeah,
biggest score is like 15k, and all of a sudden he's now in this high equity spot, holds in a big flip, and
yeah,
he could be looking at easily adding 20-30% onto that Hendon mob total here
yeah,
with
exactly. And
the top
those
three,
are
top four.
these are the kind of spots where it kind of swings the career a bit, right?
Hmm.
You can, as I had last year, just
Yeah.
winning those spots, and then all of a sudden being like, I guess in Peter's case, being able to play or travel,
Hmm.
be afford can afford to travel to EPTs and play a
Yeah,
couple one or
exactly.
two Ks maybe.
All of a
Uh,
sudden you're in the EPT National with the sort of thousands of runners or whatever.
yeah,
We're playing
exactly.
for like serious money.
Yeah, all of a sudden you're looking at one good run and you make 6, 7 figures even.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is definitely can be swinging at best, and then you come back to realize that it was all a flip on the final table
of
to
the
define the year of the
yeah.
year of a player.
Poker is a quite sick game like that. You
Yeah,
know, all the opportunities that
you don't get that in cash games, do you?
no, you don't. You just
That's the sickness of
shake
tournaments.
your head and reload.
Yeah. Like, oh, I want 10 buy-ins.
Yeah, the
Amazing.
upside just isn't
Yeah.
there. It doesn't all change overnight like it can in a tournament. Especially here, as a lot of players have won their way through packages from some of our partners, as you can see listed at the top of the screen. Some of the live satellites even, there was seats being won across the week in just €50 satellites with
Yeah.
multiple seats on offer, and then all of a sudden parlaying that into a final table, and then even the dizzy heights of a top three is eye-watering.
Oh yeah.
So that was your breakout score, the festival main.
I
Um,
believe so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Had you had
Yeah.
any success online or any kind of?
I mean, online, I was doing well at that point. Yeah.
Hmm.
Was a bit getting a bit too comfy with the previous bull run as well. So I was
Yeah, yeah.
like,
That's long in
definitely,
the
yeah,
rearview mirror now.
yeah. Being a bit degenerate there definitely helped that year or the year before that actually, because we went in. I remember 2021 being was 21, 22. 2021 being really good, and then
Yeah,
2022 basically
like a reality check, or
everything
yeah,
burning down and
and then
going to zero basically was kind of the feel.
the
So
just the slow burn out
yeah,
of the
exactly.
scene. Yeah, yeah,
Losing 10%, more than 10% a month or something.
yeah, yeah. It's
You're like,
pretty.
oh, when will it end?
Yeah, yeah.
But
Good
yeah,
lord.
that score definitely put a big band-aid on the year, and then obviously poker-wise, it was an
Hmm.
incredible start to an amazing year
And
that followed.
came in with some momentum from the 2K high roller.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that run? Was there any?
Oh, it was Spain, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that was a gigantic spot as well.
yeah. I mean, 500K up top there, and they did a deal,
Yeah,
so it could have been even more with the original payouts.
I believe that was 600 something up top.
Hmm.
Yeah, I ran deep in that one the year before as well, so kind of similar to this run.
Yeah.
I think I got final two tables in both of them. Yeah, that field was incredible. We're
Yeah.
talking about the EPT, Estrella's High Roller. There's
Hmm.
so many good players in there.
Andrea Kari,
Yeah,
Martin Jacobson.
yeah, just to name a few, like Espen Sandvik, who's been at the festival a couple times as well. Great
Yeah.
mixed game player.
Hmm.
I believe being Senj online.
Uh-huh.
See Alexander Hirsch, uh, also top-notch online player, uh,
Yeah.
who's been kicking into the live high rollers
Yeah, yeah. Some
this
of
year,
these
this past year. Yeah.
5Ks in EPT Cyprus and stuff like that.
So yeah, the those types of runs definitely are career defining if once you make like one or two of them,
Hmm.
especially when you the top three 'em, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, coming back from that one and then playing some seemingly lower stakes tournament, which was this festival, and then sun running this into a win. It's just it can be like very momentum on,
Yeah.
especially a confidence booster, of course, which you really need in live poker.
Hmm.
Where you
But do you
just
feel that those sort of like close shaves or warm-ups do have a bit of wind in your sails when you do go into, let's say, a lower buy-in with a slightly weaker field where
yeah.
you just feel kind of going into the final table like this is mine for the taking, you know?
Yeah, you do realize that like, okay, my win rate here is a bit bigger
Hmm.
than other players, and opposed to other tournaments where you have to actually really fight
Every
for chips.
couple of blinds,
Yeah,
exactly.
you're playing like a 5 EV pot, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
you're getting put into the blender
You're not
by some
getting people
person.
just open folding Jack 7 off in the small, you know, like there's,
No.
there's a battle going on, you know,
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
chip leaders finding all the opens, there's lots of opens, three bets, a lot of the pots. Here it can be a little bit more honest.
Yeah, exactly. I just yeah, just not getting put in the blender as much
Yeah.
as you could sometimes have happen. As you see Rimar picking up an offsuit ace in the big blind or in the small blind, going for the call against Tommy. So we'll see a confrontation between two of our larger stacks, or a confrontation that's cost them both a big blind each. So far,
What do we have?
quick check,
Tommy with that backdoor flush
just
draw.
this.
Got some absolute antics going on. We're on the 30-minute delay, of course, but almost the entire scaffolding of the setup was sent flying there.
I'm
So
definitely not leaving for the time being.
plenty to look forward to.
Yeah, there's always excitement on these FTs when it's about big money.
Exactly, and it's kind of like this would be essentially the bigger event of the sort of mid to low stakes
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
um,
especially for
series.
yeah for this location, it's definitely up there for the prize pools, of course.
Yeah, and
See some big prize pools here, but
yeah, the
yeah,
Polish Poker Championship is a 100 euro with like thousands of runners that gets also
yeah,
similar money up top, and
mental.
it's
Yeah,
just
it's absolutely
absolutely
mental.
insane. Someone's going home with 70k there, and it's you know like a field like a $1 tournament online.
Oof.
It's rather eye-watering, that's for sure. So Riemann navigating his way to a river and does face.
Yeah, getting put to the test here as we've expected by Tommy.
Hmm.
Might be intrigued to looking up here as he
Ooh, he
does.
does.
Oof. And you definitely want to have Tommy show his cards here instead of
Yeah, just quickly
showing
showing.
the ace high and letting him.
Letting him
Uh,
know it's like a psychological
yeah,
thing, isn't it? You know, like I'm here to play.
the three might have. Yeah, let me. Yeah, uh, yeah, nice call.
Yeah, it is a nice call. I was just trying to think of what sort
Yeah,
of bluffs he perceives his opponent to have there. It's
I'm
yeah,
guessing Tommy will find them.
yeah, like
I'll trust him too.
Queen 6, 10, 6 type stuff.
Yeah, as he did. Yeah,
Mhm.
like the 6 or 7x.
Yeah.
Uh, having a three might be a bit worse, but then having ace high is still having ace high.
Yep.
So yeah, cool little takedown there from the chip leader. Finally showing a
Bit of
bit of
heart.
moxie in his game.
Putting his foot down, maybe.
Yeah, maybe finally taking a stand.
Poker Browse rating us with a party
Ooh.
of 55. Thanks very much, Scott. Really appreciate that.
Scott was Poker Bros streaming some IRL open
Yeah.
face again.
Oh.
Raid spoilered myself. Oops. Oh no.
No, does that mean you're out of the
That
OFC?
I mean it couldn't be much of a spoiler when you're IRL streaming with no delay as usual, right?
Maybe for the sake of us being 30 minutes into the past here.
Ah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that could be it. Yeah. Yeah. Let's not go over to the open face tables, guys. Let's
Nope.
keep the cameras here. You see Christopher once again pick up a hand against open,
Yeah, this is getting
picking up the
quite
ace queen
frustrating
suited.
for Sayago, right? I mean, he
Yeah.
did everything right in the final two tables. He made a huge cooldown yesterday with the ace four.
Oh yeah, that was a
Um,
brilliant one. I saw that.
it
Yeah.
was, yeah, really, really clean and just did a great job of kind of dominating the feature table with two tables left earlier on today. And just getting into this spot where he's opened and faced resistance multiple times now.
Yeah.
Really frustrating, but
It's nice to see though that it's reasonable hands and not getting bullied on by.
no, exactly. It's not getting completely sent packing by the one
Yeah.
high, one low all the time.
Yeah. Exactly.
I sound really low, do I? Oh, sorry. Maybe my microphone is not close enough. Apologies for that one.
Yeah. The beautiful stash is in the way probably.
Yeah, exactly. Muffled by the moustache.
Oh yeah, and Scott, as we go to a little break.
Ooh,
Oh,
looks like we're taking a break. We were in the middle of a hand, I thought, but bear with us. We'll be right back. So in the meantime, thanks very much for the raid, Scott. And have you done enough to close out the leaderboard?
it
Because you
did
were,
sound like that when.
yeah. But now Gabriel Rima, who actually won the Bratislava Deep Stack, if he won this, could
Oof.
potentially be some serious points, right?
Yeah, I've heard someone winning a PLO last night as well, being
Yeah.
in the race still.
Oh, Andy?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
my
so.
friend
Yeah.
Andy. Yeah, he's won two events as well. So
Do you have a nice stash going as
yeah,
sarcasm?
give a
You
little.
would love to see it, George.
Yeah, give a
It's
little
it's the
trim,
usual. Yeah.
tamed it somewhat. People always think I'm Australian because that's kind of
Ah,
the
yeah, yeah,
Australian look,
yeah.
isn't it? And maybe the
Gets reminders from some of the streamers there, some of the Aussie bogans. Yeah. Throwing the eyes there. Yeah, just follow him on Instagram, Poke Athlete.
yeah,
You'll
appreciate
you'll
that.
see much of it.
Yeah, doing some fitness stuff whilst I'm continuing to maybe not do the best in poker, but we're still alive.
Maybe I should trade off some of the pokering for the fitness as well. Maybe catch you in the.
I'll swap the moustache for a
Well,
main event run.
uh, eh,
No, I think you'll take it.
yeah, I'll take
How's
it.
your moustache skills? Have you ever tried one?
None,
No.
not much of a mustache. Yeah,
Hmm.
um, I'll keep it with slightly, slightly grown out beard when I'm a week away.
A bit dishevelled. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly. Like not too much to the point where it's actually
Yeah.
starting, but
Kind of
yeah,
grinding DTO at home a little bit, getting orders in.
yeah, exactly. Getting Deliveroo,
Yeah.
yeah,
Same guy at the door 3 times a day.
yeah, like yeah,
You're right, mate, me again.
I
Yeah. Cheers,
another
pal.
trip to the supermarket, getting some instant noodles. Yeah, like, yeah, back again.
So whilst we wait for the continuation of the final table, we will take a short break and we'll be with you very soon.
Yeah, ciao.
And we are back in the mix. So welcome back, everybody.
As we see the tournament director show up,
Yeah,
we're like, guys,
eyes and ears.
all right,
There will be another short break
coming
as
up in
we
like
are.
a rough half hour
Yeah.
by the sound of it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I see Sayevsky once again, Savevsky.
I think she meant live. So I think that what
Oh,
they're
yeah,
going
yeah,
to take a
exactly, yeah.
short break as we haven't had a final table break yet. So let's play
Fair
out
enough.
the final hand before that short break.
I see an interested Ace 9-0 from small blind, definitely a contender to treat himself to a 3-bet, but goes for the call. Ooh, and this could be a
Spicy one.
spot where Ace 9 just
Might
finds
just
the
relinquish
fold.
it on the
Yeah,
flop, yeah, with no additional equity with his 9.
yep, yeah, and
And he
shows
does
as
show
well.
it quite proudly, and
And shows the
yeah, his
nuts.
opponent
Like,
saying,
I can beat that.
"I flop the goods."
Yeah, as we see players leaving the table.
Yeah, and we're
A
just
bit of a chip race
gonna
by
get
the
a
looks of
chip
it.
race, absolutely. So everybody's just gonna get coloured up, and we will be with you very shortly. So sorry for the couple of breaks back to back, but doing our best to bring you the best coverage possible. 7 left here in the main event, playing for 80,000 euros up top. Watching a VOD at twitch.tv/pokeathlete. You look all grown up. I appreciate
Aw.
that. Doing a charity bankroll challenge right now over on Twitch. Going to be getting back to that as we've got an ACR PLO series, which is starting this week. So I'm going to be going back for that. Looking forward to that. Played a decent amount of PLO this week. Was going pretty well, and then I took a shot in a pretty swingy game, and unfortunately, you got to live by the sword and die by it as well. and that's just the way it goes. But no disaster, that's for sure.
Might have a bit of dabble in the MTT PLO streams if I
Yeah, good
uh,
man.
get some time free.
Yeah, I
But
feel like that's a.
the coming couple of weeks are gonna look a bit busy. I'm
Hmm.
afraid, or maybe I'm happy to because
Yeah, I'd be appreciate you tuning in. That's for sure.
definitely gotta tune in. Yeah,
Yeah, I've been mostly kind of propped up by my friend Sven, who gets
yeah,
insane viewers. Just a super high energy guy that
absolutely.
streams and plays relentlessly. And his style and his general work ethic is pretty much unrivaled on Twitch.
Yeah, I've
Um,
seen some of his photos when he's like, I'm going live, and it's 20 tables of MTTs, and I'm
yeah,
just like,
no, yeah,
I
and
don't,
and he's
I've never been able to do that. I'm
and he
just,
doesn't have Streamlabs or like
oh god,
the what's the thing called that
the
you can
the
transition.
deck thing,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Stream Deck, yeah,
Stream Deck. Yeah, he doesn't have that. He does all of the transitions manually.
god.
And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
I
just my
mean,
thing.
it takes an insane person to do either of those things, so it fits nicely.
That's for sure. Yeah, so give him a follow over at twitch.tv/Sven Calls, one of my personal recommendations. Very close personal friend of mine who's certainly rising up the ranks. Won the bracelet online.
Oof,
Yeah,
that's
pretty
always
sick.
nice.
Pretty sick, right?
Yeah, we had a recent bracelet winner in the cash game, the
Yeah,
PLO cash game as well,
Danius.
Daniels,
Yeah.
yeah, and all the 8 games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As you see the link in the chat by Sidegasm, thank you very much for that.
Appreciate that one side. And I'm just going to take a quick toilet break and we'll be with you very shortly.
Hi everyone, it's time for the final recap of the festival series in Bratislava 2023. It's a fantastic week behind. Yesterday we had day 2 of the main event and we're down to the final 9 players. We had total of 1,025 entries and we smashed the guarantee. What an amazing run. We're down now to final 9 players. Currently our players are on the break, as you can see. Don't forget to watch us the live stream. The festival series. We don't say goodbye. We say see you soon. Welcome back to the festival series here in Bangkok Casino in Bratislava. My name is Anastasia and I'm joined by Peter from Slovakia, the cheap leader of the day 3. How did you do so far?
Oh, very good. I have some lucky runs. I catch my cards, so from the beginning of day 2 I was bigger than average stake.
Okay.
So far it's very good tournament for me.
So how many chips do you have so far?
3.25 or something like that.
Yeah, so we still have actually 2 more players who very close to you, just basically catching you up. How do you feel about it?
It's poker. Anything can happen. It's still maybe just something about 10% of the all chips. So it's not like guaranteed plays or anything. So I must play, hope to not catch some bad setups, play good poker and hope for the best.
Absolutely. We have 16 players left, day 3, and today we're going to have a final table. I wish you best of luck. I hope to see you at the final table, and who knows, maybe you will take down the tournament.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hi everyone, it's time for the final recap of the festival series in Bratislava 2023. It's a fantastic week behind. Yesterday we had day 2 of the main event and we're down to the final 9 players. We had total of 1,025 entries and we smashed the guarantee. What an amazing run. We're down now to final 9 players. Currently our players are on the break, as you can see. Don't forget to watch us the live stream. The festival series. We don't say goodbye. We say see you soon. Welcome back to the festival series here in Bangkok Casino in Bratislava. My name is Anastasia and I'm joined by Peter from Slovakia, the cheap leader of the day 3. How did you do so far?
Oh, very good. I have some lucky runs. I catch my cards, so from the beginning of day 2 I was bigger than average stake.
Okay.
So far it's very good tournament for me.
So how many chips do you have so far?
3.25 or something like that.
Yeah, so we still have actually 2 more players who very close to you, just basically catching you up. How do you feel about it?
It's poker. Anything can happen. It's still maybe just something about 10% of the all chips. So it's not like guaranteed prize or anything. So I must play, hope to not get some bad setups, play good poker, and hope for the best.
Absolutely. We have 16 players left, day 3, and today we're going to have a final table. I wish you best of luck. I hope to see you at the final table, and who knows, maybe you will take down the tournament.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Very pretty looking holding, which doesn't want to face
No,
any
really
counter
just
battery here.
hoping to get it through. He's got Tommy in the small blind, which may deter him from.
And the big stack, of course, on the button. Who's
Yeah.
just gonna C3. Yeah, very comfortable. Bit of a shame being dominated here by the kicker instead of
Absolutely. Could
having.
spell some danger on some 10 high boards. What's
Yeah.
Tommy going to be cooking up here with the
Little
ace
ace-3-0.
3? Does he fancy getting spicy? No, he does
just
not.
just behaves and lays it down. You could definitely see something other than a call even happening there.
Yeah, definitely.
Putting the flatter to the test mostly.
Hmm.
But yeah, probably realizes that he's gonna get jammed on a couple times by Ilya,
Yeah.
and then you've just dusted off.
Quite an awkward stack size
Yeah,
to
exactly.
go after. You've got to put in like half his stack and then.
Yeah, then still fold.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
With the ICM.
Yeah, especially when most of the 4-bit jams are then gonna be, or on the lighter side at least, are gonna be ace-x, right?
Exactly. So ace-x or
Oh.
big pairs. Whoa.
And all these 3 hands have very good interaction with one another, so
Hmm.
seeing this flop is
Yeah.
it's gonna be a bit of a car crash.
Pretty spicy one for Reimar. Middle pair, flush draw, and Christoforu defending the big blind.
Just checks
Next
through.
round, okay.
Makes sense to
Yeah.
a certain extent, and both ends now chopping. There were 3 to a straight flush hands in this, which both have bricked off, as usually happens. Like you're so optimistic always, having the Jack 9 here, being like, oh
Yeah,
please,
so many good turns.
please, yeah, can check raise. I mean, he has a gut shelter as well, right? So
Yeah, exactly. The 9.
yeah, we're just gonna see 3 here, or see a river with probably all 3. Might be interesting to see what Christopher does.
Yeah, facing the bet and the call.
Yeah, facing bet and call, especially when checked. Ilya definitely has some 7x still and a chunk of ace-x, but
Ooh.
looks like, what was it, Georgie? Or,
Gabriel.
Gabriel, okay. Gabriel opting for the raise here, putting 10-8 into a very grim spot where I'm
Very
assuming Ilya just folds.
Yeah. Out of position here. Gabriel's gonna line up with the 7. Decent
Yeah,
amount of the time.
yeah.
He can flat 7. 6,
Very
6,
very natural to check back 7-6, 8-6.
King 7.
Or yeah, 7,
Yeah.
7-6. Yeah. Then the bluffs come from some very high equity hands if you're even ahead of the hands, right?
The
Like you can just
realization.
check back Queen Jack of clubs and not wanting to get jammed on.
Mhm.
And now in being in this spot, seeing a 300k bet, he's like, okay, well, let's see what you have.
Yeah, and manages to tussle his opponent off of the chop.
Yep. And even when called, you still have the free roll, right? Your flush draw is always live against the good ace.
Yep.
And then even against the 7, most of your cards are live. You're just like,
Exactly.
okay.
Finds a nice way to pick up a chop there.
It might be that that he's actually switching a bit of gears. Maybe found some information, gotten some information from friends, being you could be a bit more aggressive, maybe.
Potentially, yeah. We've had a couple of breaks, right? So
Yeah.
would seem like a natural time to get on the phone. Maybe you've got some friends who
Go through the messages,
yeah, kind of on your journey, playing live or playing some online or something that are watching the stream, being like, you missed a couple of opens, didn't do this. Maybe work on that, and
Yeah.
definitely got some notes to bring into the finals.
Maybe target this other guy. Maybe trap some people more.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely some stuff that if you've been watching the stream while playing or just before playing, you can pick up that involve changing your normal strategy a bit more.
Yeah.
Definitely had some considerations for the start of day today that I was gonna play a bit differently to
Yeah.
against some people.
Did you go through some of the coverage from?
Uh, Not too much. I got sent some hands which I thought were interesting.
Yeah.
Mostly involving Tommy and the guy in seat 6, the
Okay.
Hakuna Matada.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The scaffolding guy.
yeah, exactly. uh, so yeah, you definitely have to adjust yourself to what information is out there to a certain extent.
Yeah,
Like
last
you
hand
don't
of
want to go all batshit, but
no, but last hand of the day yesterday we saw Tommy flat like 6-4 off
yeah,
cut off versus
yeah, that's when
Jack. Yeah,
I folded fours there, being a bit more afraid, of course, of the initial opener,
but not
which
having the cards up info and
yeah,
the real feel of the what's actually going on at
yeah, I
the
just
table.
had just seen the 10-9 off, of course, in real life against the Jacks.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay,
Whoa.
10-9
Okay.
off got in there
Yeah, yeah,
versus UTG and I believe MP.
yeah, yeah. The
All
overcalled
right,
faith.
I mean, let's take some action against that, but yeah, definitely something to take into consideration, and if you can adjust like very well to that and know where, or at least have a good estimate of where you're pulling some extra jams from or extra three bets from,
Yeah.
you're gonna do really well if they
There's
just keep being at it like that.
yeah, and just keep kind of
Get punished
chucking
really,
in dead money
yeah,
with an
gets punished
undefended range.
really quickly.
Absolutely. So Reimar now has somewhat of a forged lead with the 8.6 million.
As we see him cutting out some chips, so definitely
Definitely some adjusting
the
going
open.
on.
We already see Tommy hitting his cards into the muck.
Yeah, that's a bonus for Reimar
Yeah.
with the somewhere near the bottom.
So Christopher definitely with a hand that might want to play flats, but chooses otherwise.
I think he's got Jetsko in the big blind, who's quite short and might
Oh
want to
yeah,
allow the
yeah.
confrontation between these two, but no hand for Peter to defend.
No, Peter are just on a bit shy of 15 bigs now. Definitely going to be interesting to see how he plays the short stack.
Yeah.
If he's gonna completely lock up, and I mean it kind of depends on the cards that he's getting, but
Yeah.
there might be some spots where you can actually go a bit wider from big blind from these stacks, just because of, you know, if you hit something, it's very easy to get money in,
Yep.
as opposed to being like 30 BB, 40
Yeah,
BB deep.
the realization becomes much
Yeah.
tougher, right?
All of a sudden your 6-4 off or queen 4 offs start looking very good when you can flop a pair and not fold.
Yep. And get a very high c-bet
Yeah,
from your
exactly. Yeah,
opponent that are gonna almost auto c-bet on a
yeah,
lot
and
of
then
boards.
a lot of folds, so
Yeah.
you just chip up very nicely there where possible. Definitely gonna expect an open here. Ooh. Also just folds the king 9-0 and cut off, which
Yeah, covering the rest of the field.
works out nicely though, because this is just automatic jam.
Yeah, plain as day.
Takes a bit of time though, which is nice. Just slow peek at the cards, be like, okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, all in. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
not the fist pump in the air. I'm all in.
Yeah, the little victory lap round
Get
the
me
table.
in, yeah.
Chuck me the triangle
Keys
dealer.
in the keys on the table. Get me in there.
We actually saw that on the stream coverage yesterday. There was a guy who was a Slovakian local guy that was playing much lower sort of tournaments.
Yeah.
The found ace queen. He was kind of blinding out a little bit. Finds ace queen on the button with 4.5 bigs and literally just stood up out of his chair and like grabbed his bag and was throwing his bag into the middle. It just
Oh, that's
couldn't
amazing.
contain the excitement.
Yeah, that's the high-fiving live read that
Yeah.
is a bit of a throwback to when Helmut and some other chick both have 8. both have aces.
Oh, and they're like going around.
Yeah, they're like high
high-fiving the
fiving each other,
rail,
basically telling them they had aces.
and
And then some other guy just
somehow dumps it
still
in the
calls
king.
kings. Yeah, like if there's ever a spot to fold kings,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like,
It's
if
it's
ever.
it's Annie Duke going to the rail saying, "I've got it, I've got it."
Yeah, God.
And Savievsky here with the threes, not
Just hits
electing
the
to
mark.
take the rejam spot there.
Yeah, I would have not minded the jam there against Vashi.
Yeah, we've seen enough from Baji to
Yeah.
indicate that he's gonna
Definitely an active player.
definitely finding the opens. I think there was a king three suited on the stream last night from pretty early position, last hand of the day.
You see Rimar just looks like that 10-5 suited is good enough for a 3-bet from big blind. Which I don't mind. Let's see how Vashi reacts here.
This is a real switch up from Rimar
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
back
this
from
is-
the break.
Is it still him? Like,
Yeah.
so maybe he has a twin brother, yeah?
he's
Just say.
subbed in the live ghost.
We never know if he has an earpiece in, you know? Like,
Yeah, he's got the head, the
hoodie
hoodie up.
on.
And Vaxi in a pretty tough spot with two
Yeah,
short
this
stacks.
this is usually pretty grim for cutoff here, especially if he's seen some of the folds that Rimar's been making. You'd very much not expect this hand and just
Yeah.
expect like queens plus here.
Yeah, a lot of value.
Yeah,
Maybe the odd bluff.
yeah.
but
Istano not doing too well in this spot.
No, not a hand that you'd usually consider a call.
Yeah, I mean just play so poorly against some of the linear value range, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you still have to worry about, is he even gonna find 3-bets with like tens and
Yeah.
I don't know, name a hand and
So do you think he's considering four betting, or I know he's just
Well,
going to continue by the look of it.
yeah, it looks like just a call unless he, yeah, just a call.
Uh,
Yeah, and all of a sudden there's 2 million here,
Yeah, wow.
and you just take, you know, it's the old cooler of 10-5 suited against Ace 10L.
The 2023 cooler.
Yeah. Oh.
Wow, both players flop a piece, and Rimar's got the backdoor flush draw to boot on
Yeah.
an ace-high board where you'd expect him to employ a lot of c-bets.
Yeah, you kind of expect just a range bet here. I mean, ace high is a bit different for big blind when they just have a large chunk of high pairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it can be a bit awkward, especially when cutoff is also just flat raise calling a bunch of suited aces.
Exactly.
So it might be a bit different than you'd normally expect in like a single raise pop, for
When
example.
first meets the eye, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you just see 750k and Fazi obviously still just basically a bluff catcher, of course. Looking at the feet, it's a bit far away to see the feet there.
Yeah, he loves the feet reads, doesn't
Yeah. It might be feinting a lot of weakness as well, of course. But Ace 10 definitely a hand you could expect here in terms of actual hand strength.
he? Yeah,
Just like don't beat any value. Oh, that's almost a 10.
almost.
There could have been a
That would
sick,
have been the
sickest.
yeah, the 10 of clubs would have just been absolute car crash for
Yeah.
Rimar.
And let's hope Rimar doesn't just completely blow up all of a sudden. It's just, would be very out of character.
Does show some restraint.
Snap checks back. Which, yeah, again, might want to take your time there, even though you're probably never betting or never reopening the action.
Yeah, at least to give the impression that you could.
Yeah.
Might gain you some checks that you basically want at this point,
Yeah.
right?
I assume this just goes check again, and then Rimar has to show his hand first. Yeah. It's gonna be a very interesting future game, seeing the 10-5 suited rolled out.
Absolutely. If that does get to showdown, does Rimar have any devilish intentions on this king?
Yeah, no, I don't. You're just gonna lose here, and I think you just kind of have to accept that, not
Mhm.
having any clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, there goes the hand. He's like, what's this?
Yeah, 10-5. Okay.
10 ace. Yep.
Absolutely. So that could be a little eye-opener for the rest of the table.
Yeah.
Eagle-eyed watching this confrontation. Huge three-bet pot going on. 3.6 million in the middle. Over 20 big blinds in there. And
This is very out of character, or this particular hand going to showdown is very out of character, which might tempt people to, or might tempt the other players to be like, wait, what?
whoa,
I
okay.
just seen Queen Jack suited fold, and now he's three betting the 10 and 5, and huh?
Exactly.
You know,
You can
it's
see
kind of mind breaking.
the cogs whirring in Peter over on the
Yeah.
right-hand side, just thinking, whoa, okay,
Hmm.
wasn't expecting to see that. I was
Yeah.
expecting more of like a queens
Kings.
versus
Yeah.
aces.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 You know, going for the c-bet and kind of giving up.
Yeah. Just being like, okay, maybe I win against nines. You know.
Yeah, yeah, some kind of inferior underpair.
But yeah, it's seems like a good moment for our guy in C2 to pick up a real hand and do the same thing, right?
Absolutely.
And then get absolute all max value from it. And then you can pretend to have set it up before. Definitely been in those spots before where you just say three bet and then get the showdown with like king five suited, some EP versus like cutoff or button. Then very next hand, you just pick up kings in the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
spot. And you're like,
I'm gonna get all the action
yeah,
in the
and
world.
then you
there.
get the jam on, and you're like, yeah, I
Let's
got,
go. I've
like,
got it.
got him.
And here he
Hello.
goes. Wow. It's
Wow.
almost as though you saw into the future there. Reimar, who certainly will be putting the cat amongst the pigeons in terms of his table image and how he's perceived by the rest of the players, now
Yeah.
waking up with a monster in the small blind here and going to be
Just
going.
goes for the raise.
Yep.
Just like, just wanna
Well,
put some money in. Don't wanna rely on the ISOs for and yeah,
wow.
just straight up car crash here. Might see Tommy just flat here, but seven's way too much of a hand to he's probably see a three bet here,
Yeah.
and then we might see king's trap, but
Interesting to
I
note
don't
that
know.
Tommy's not really scouring the table and looking at the shorter stacks that are kind of lurking there.
It doesn't seem like the type to yeah.
Yeah,
There we go.
just going for the three-bet call by the looks of it.
Going for a smallish three bet here, which makes sense with some hands. Also, don't want to like make it gigantic when you have 4 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
With 30 bigs and being in position. It's gonna be interesting what the king does here. Could make up some click, but how are you gonna play that with other parts of your range, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, are you even gonna be balanced at all? Like, are you gonna care enough to be like?
Yeah, especially the hand after that you get kind of the tail between your legs with the 10-5,
Yeah, exactly.
and now all of a sudden it's like.
Looks like we just see a call here,
Mm-hmm.
which
Seems.
very much makes sense.
fair, yeah.
Just like all the bluffs that Tommy is gonna have, or a lot of them are gonna involve some relevance around the kings.
Yeah.
Yeah, just gotta dodge the magnet that is the ace for
Absolutely.
your safety, and then
And,
just gotta hope that Tommy decides to stick in a lot of money as well.
absolutely.
Having the spade and the backdoor straight draw here seems very natural to, I mean, just bet here.
Absolutely looking for some folds from overcards.
Looking for some value.
Looking for some value, exactly. So value slash denial.
Yeah, like Rimar is gonna have a couple suited aces, both the diamonds and the spades that are probably gonna have to continue against any bet size. That's a bit reasonable.
Is he shoved?
Oh.
Oh my god. Oh, it's the
yeah,
blow
he
up from
just
Tommy.
runs in it. Just steps in it right there and just like,
And
oh, look
Rimar.
at how we set it up. Oh, but like, not to be rude or anything.
No, but
Definitely,
wouldn't be shoving his face in it at this point. Just
No.
just kind of sitting down and being like,
just
yeah,
be
cool.
like, yeah, color. Yeah.
And now just the
Just
7
gotta
and
dodge the
7
seven.
only.
Is it always coming? It's only one of them.
I don't know. No Germans at the table. Ooh,
close
and
enough.
a clean hold there for Rimar as we
Yeah, that
are
is.
down to 5 now.
That's good game, Tommy
Yeah,
Alm.
good game, Tommy. He gave a spirited effort, that's for sure. had some moves. Certainly was not shy to put the chips in, and unfortunately that ended up in being a reason for his downfall there. Just sending it in with the sevens. I guess his thinking was, I found a relatively safe board, and I'm just going to go
Yeah,
for the max protection.
put the guy on ace king or some kind of ace x, right?
Yeah, and
And
not wanting to
yeah,
see any more cards.
it's a bit dodgy playing that stack size type, as he doesn't forget his lucky charm there.
Yep.
Still stone as the 5 remaining players here have locked up 16,850 euros.
Yeah, and the
There's a
two
good little payday of roughly around 30 buy-ins.
absolutely, and the two short stacks on the right. Peter
Oh,
can't contain a
yeah.
smile, and there we go. We got one from the Macedonian as well.
Yeah, Macedonian is a bit of a quiet guy, but definitely shared some laughs on the outer table. At the day started. George leaves for a quick second, does a little hike. So you're gonna have to do it with just me here. Senko asking the very nice question, is Lord Bar still in? Unfortunately, I busted on the outer table in 13th place to the Macedonian in seat 9. I jammed deuces, blind v blind against a race first in. He race called ace-9 suited, and that's all she wrote. Back to the action, you see Mr. Rimar getting pocket fours on the button, now being a very convincing chip lead. Only the big blind to play against. Still coming in for a raise. Of course, yeah. And Christopher, not much of a hand. Might be tempted to defend this, but in the end, the small blind's also just not there, so it gives you a bit of a worse price. To play post flop and 5-3 off against the chip leader might not be the best types of holdings. Imagine busting the main event at the Festival of Bratislava. Must be a nice experience to have on the belt. Yeah, I mean, all in all, I've been getting really lucky all week, so it's just, yeah, I just have to realize that sometimes you don't get to win tournaments. It's a harsh realization for me this past month. Who've, as you return, Tobias Senkel has rejoined the chatter. So,
Being
yeah.
kept on our toes now by
Yeah.
Mr. Senko.
Getting needled here, asking if I'm still in during the live commentary. Should try mixed games. Nah. I've uh, I've had an excellent record of having 0 cashes in mixed game tournaments.
A full zero.
A whole donut of
Yeah,
cashes.
not even a $1 rouse on stars or something.
Oh no, I've won online, but like having to play live
Yeah.
when you're being sat next right to the left of a guy called Tobias Leknes, who's organizing the whole festival that you're at.
Okay.
Yeah,
At
you're
the
just
other casino.
yeah. Yeah, he really tried in Prague as well. Yeah, definitely. Wait,
Is that a 1 BB stack or a 1 bet stack
yeah,
going into the...
I punted it off in limit hold'em. Yeah, 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 that happened. That was really low morale, to be honest. I definitely might not play that one this year. I believe that either that must have been the horse. Yeah, the 1K horse or the 550, whatever it was, which was a really nice tournament to get to know more mixed games. More of hustling everyone. Yeah, you definitely hustled me to come to the other side of Bratislava and play that one. Yeah, definitely not gonna be a repeat there unless there's a lot of buckets of beer being offered there, Tobias. So take note.
Or some other incentives.
Yeah, exactly.
Just go here, flopping gut shot with a backdoor flush draw in a limp pot. Vaxi not putting him in here with the king with two players on 2 million stacks. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'd like this
I'd like the
jamming.
jam, right?
This is super efficient to
It just ends up check folding the best of it on the flop as well. So it's
yeah.
yeah, just going
Yeah,
to show
Yeshko obviously
at this
has.
stage people tend to be a little overly honest in these
Yeah.
kind of situations. Maybe not realizing how much leverage their jam does have there into one of the two clear shorties.
Yeah, especially when it's this flat and you don't really play for the win, or not exclusively for the win, I should say, because you always play for the win. But
Yeah,
when the pay jumps matter most relatively in this stage,
for
it's
the
just
shorties.
yeah,
Yeah.
you just have to like, put max pressure as you're not the shorty and actually get to leverage that. Do we see King Sevens?
Wow. Rima
Oh,
really is.
he's the best.
How
He's
does
the
he do
best.
it?
He's the best.
That's the second time that he's managed to.
Does he just have like one of the sickest live reads ever? Is that
Is it
just it?
possible?
Are we seeing the next Charlie Carroll here?
It's
Is that
possible.
it?
Is there a live tells course coming?
God, I've heard of a couple. Yeah.
Can you
Like,
see it? Because I see it, but I'm not telling you what I
yeah,
see. Yeah.
it's either one of two things. You should. Yeah. My God, and the nines behind as well.
Vatsy as
But it's
well.
Fazi again.
Yeah.
So
Who's
could
been?
it just be?
Maybe he's seen the leg moving under the table. And
Yeah,
that's
maybe it's his like moving, and they would be like, "Hello, I'm there." Yeah,
Wow.
honestly, it could be something Fati's doing. I wouldn't.
Oh
Oh my
my
god!
word.
And the King Seven would have. I mean, it wouldn't have
Fo-
gotten
Yeah.
post because
No.
aces would have three bet. But
Still,
my god,
what a cooler here.
that is absolutely disgusting. There's already 1 million in the pot as well. So
Yeah, so 6 pots behind.
yeah, in PLO we would barely get there.
Yeah. But in this format,
In unlimited hold'em,
and
definitely gonna see.
the out of position C bet as well, going for a pretty chunky
Yeah.
half pot.
And Vashi has snap raised sometimes. Now with the pocket nines, taking his time a bit. His color is up.
Ooh,
Does
that's
grab a
crazy
lot more
chips.
chips.
Are we going to
So
see Cristoforo just pile it in on the flop here?
surely
Would
not.
I feel like that's what's going to happen, kind of in line with how he's been playing, but maybe not. I could be wrong. Batsy does going to
Makes it
have
1 mil 2. Gets into his usual. Yeah, this is just
goes back into the Helmuth stance
yeah.
as well. Hands between.
With the ace of clubs here as well. You're just not. You're just hoping for king queen. I mean, you're obviously fist bumping if it gets in, but like, because jacks and kings are just don't exist.
No, exactly. It's king jack, pocket nines, or
Yeah.
queen 10 suited, right?
Yeah, exactly. Then he still has king x,
Yeah.
and flush draws, I guess. Some of the worst variety, like the 8 7s, the 9x, the 10x, the queen x. I mean, do expect to just see a call here, to be honest, and wait for a bricky turn. I think that's the hashtag.
The way to go here. Looks like he is going to employ that. Those are calling chips. Cristoforo does make the call, and all
Yeah.
of a sudden we're going to
Yeah, a brick turn would
yeah,
be.
the deuce of hearts, or the sorry,
Yeah.
the deuce of diamonds or something, and it's
The hearts would be
whatever,
even
right?
sicker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or the three of
close
hearts.
enough. Yeah, that's
that's
gonna spell disaster for Cristoforo
could
there.
spell the end for the Cypriot here
Yeah.
with the overpair. Does have some worse value in his opponent's range, as you mentioned, with the king queen
Yeah.
potential, some draws.
Some king x of hearts exists, you
Mhm.
know, where you're just like that obviously gets it in, and then yeah, like king 10 of hearts, king queen of hearts.
Yep.
I don't know. 9x of clubs, 9 10 9 queen 9 of clubs might still feel obliged to be.
What?
Oh wow.
It's gone check.
Oh
Ace
my
on the river.
god, what a river.
Holy moly.
Jeez. This is gonna be absolutely disgusting for Vashi.
How has he found a way out of this?
Wow.
It's actually going with an unbelievable check back. I never saw that coming on the turn. I mean,
Pulled straight from the grave.
wow. And just the cold, hard ace of spades on the river as
As he
Christoforo
announces all in.
goes
Gets
for the
snap
lot.
called. Doesn't get snap called, it
Doesn't get
seems.
snap called apparently.
Wow.
Wow.
That's, what? He's standing up, he's walking around? Um,
What?
wait,
Is
you
this
what?
hand live? Yeah? No, it's
I guess it's live,
yeah.
but like,
I haven't seen this in a tournament that often, to be honest.
sir, you have three of a kind. There's two flush draws missing and
Your
ace
opponent
king
has
jams for
full ace
value.
king. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
King jack,
Ace jack.
king nine. I guess king jack, king nine raise flop, but like,
Yeah. Ace jack, ace king, ace nine potentially
yeah.
with a club.
Imagine how tilted you would be jamming ace king for value here. Or
Yeah.
like slow
And
playing pre and then, or slow playing on the flop.
on the
And
flop.
be like, okay, attacks, please call. You know, like have like, I don't know, jack nine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is just. I think the entire situation is just overwhelmed in. Well, it's just.
Yeah. I mean, the check back on the turn is just so.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
How are we at the river here? And he's not snapped, and he's checked back the
This
turn.
is like
And
shrugging, like call, of course. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. There we go. And gets shown. Are we going to see the
Yeah.
scaffolding take another tumble? Ouch.
Getting told to fold. Someone folded queen 10.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the correct table talk in this kind of situation. Just
Yeah.
stay
Who
quiet
cares?
and allow these guys to
Who cares?
cool up.
Hakuna Matata. Oh, just.
Oh, that's a brutal
That's.
needle.
Oh my god. Wow.
Oh, it's
Holy god.
playground tactics from
I would
Christoforo
not
with
have
the
dared saying anything like that, even against
wow,
friends.
he's a big guy as well.
Wow.
I would wow, if we weren't on a stream table and this were one of the €100 events here,
Yeah,
could have been seeing fists flying after a comment like
yeah,
that.
that would be cash me outside. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be waiting for you in
Dear
the car
God.
park.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Tire slashed and all. Like that.
What an absolute abomination of a hand. I mean,
To be honest, after that much of a slow roll,
yeah,
it is
it's
some Hakuna Matata,
somewhat-
yeah.
Yeah, after checking back, going back to the snap acting as well.
I would definitely have done. Yeah, but Tobias, you're just sick, and you also can't do that in mixed games, because you built like one big bet over here.
Yeah, yeah. I got a bet you didn't get.
Like, oh, I 4-bet you on 7th. Good for you. Especially the Dutch one. Yeah, I mean, you can slow roll me. Or do the Hakuna Matata. That's just...
Nightbot feels it's the time for the AI description of the Banco Casino.
Oh, yeah.
But holy moly, what have we just witnessed there?
Those big bets are
Christoforo.
huge. Yeah, they're big bets. Yeah, Christopher just basically going from short stack, getting a couple very nice rejam spots. And now having almost...
Look
like,
at this distribution.
my god. How many chips are in play? Is it 30 mil?
Yeah, around about 30.
30.75. He's just
Wow.
rocking up there with almost half of the chips in play.
Yeah.
With
Two guys with 83%
two guys that
of the
are
chips.
basically just waiting out each other.
Mhm.
And you're just seeing the heads up being set up here.
Wow, that is absolutely sickening for
Wow.
Batsy.
Yeah, Fatsi just... Yeah, that's disgusting. As he jams now. With the ace 10-0. For his remaining 4 BB. And Rimar not finding a hand to call 4 big blinds with the 9-3 suited. Or he might find it enough of a spin, but it's still 750k. You don't want to give away too easily here. But man, what a disgusting little river there.
Wow.
Talk
That's knocked the
about
wind out of
tournament
myself.
different.
Yeah.
Tournament
I mean,
defining.
tournament defining mass monster buy-ins up top. Ace on the river. Wow. I'm lost for words after that.
Barry Greenstein still finding his relevance, even
Still
in
finding a way.
almost 2024, you know. Still
Jeez.
rocking around.
And Gabriel, despite the full big blind ante, electing not to spin the short stack there, it's definitely
Yeah.
favourable for him to keep him alive and exert the pressure on the other two.
Yeah, even when you know it's like 0 EV, you're just probably don't want to, even because the Fasher can still fold some hands and make the 10-15 BB stacks kind of be forced to take spots as well, right?
Absolutely. And Roning saying sick check back on the turn there.
Yeah, that
Felt like you just have to go for it versus potential aces, ace king,
yeah, you
king
can just
queen.
bet a third there,
Yeah,
even on the double flush draw board.
just anything
Just
except check, right?
yeah, yeah, you want to deny some equity, especially on that board, and
Yeah.
then yeah,
Especially so deep in the tournament, right?
oh
Obviously,
yeah,
yeah, that's
like you can induce so much funny stuff when you just bet small there as well.
that's
So
one of
you
the
just
most topsy-turvy hands I've ever commentated
yeah,
on. Honestly, I'm speechless here. That's incredible. For such big money up top as well, and then the slow roll on the river, and then the needle.
oh,
He
it just had it all.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's just like, and then he goes for the Hakuna Matata versus the guy that sent the scaffolding flying earlier on. We had to take a 10-minute media break because he'd rugby tackled the the setup. It's absolutely bananas here at the
yeah.
festival. 5 left, and the distribution is insane. Two of these guys here not really incentivized to be putting many chips into the pot. Remar's gonna take a stab with the bottom pair
Yeah,
just to
just
clear out some of these types of hands, right? The 9-8.
yeah, exactly. If it was suited, you might see a float here from the 9-8 backdoor flush draw, but even then,
Even
like,
then,
do you really want to
Christopher,
start peeling this when you see the other side of the table having a combined amount of big blinds with
exactly.
not exceeding 40
Turn a
among the three
straight
of
draw,
them?
face an over bet, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh
you're just like,
god, here we go.
you're like, okay, fold.
Yeah, yeah, nice hand.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just gonna be a waiting game for people to bust here.
Absolutely.
And I don't expect it to take long when Ilya and Peter have shown to take their spots.
Yep.
Whether being right or being a bit out of line, they definitely will not knit around and wait for the short stack to bust here. When they get like anything reasonable of a hand that is just supposed to get their money in, right?
Yeah, although Savevsky did miss that ace 10 versus the button open. There was the hand that
Ah,
ended up.
right, yeah, where they overcalled and then
That was
Jack
really
Nine went for it, yeah.
went for it on the 9-8-7.
Yeah, so maybe a bit of that, yeah,
But Peter for sure, I think
yeah,
is not going to be one that's going to miss a spot, and actually somehow getting a walk there.
yeah.
But
Now making it, just making all three stacks also a little closer. Obviously, probably don't wanna take the 8-4 off anyways.
absolutely no,
Just
no,
say
I
you
wouldn't
you can
even
just keep
spot.
him alive, and even if he doubles twice, he's still like half your stack,
Hmm.
if not less. And just wait for a good hand and go from there. You
Yeah,
know, no need to torch off 5 big blinds like that when the guy might just call you
just
with half the deck,
any
right?
two,
Or
yeah.
he's supposed to call half the deck, but might just be like, I haven't looked at my cards, time for a spin, you know?
Absolutely.
Definitely see that happen before where people just put in someone in the big blind where they just know big blind. But you can just see big blind being completely over it and just,
Yeah, and just kind of after that aftermath of the set over set and
yeah.
all of the shenanigans and the needling and I mean under the lights here in a big field tournament playing for serious money, it's so easy to lose your head in some ways. So you've got to
Yeah.
be wary of that.
Then I expect this to just jam.
Surely.
Ace 8 off is such a nice combo to do this with. Uh, yeah. We're just, it goes
So
for
just
the
gonna
normal
go
range.
for the raise
Oh, it goes
call.
for the 2.5x as well, which I really like.
Hmm. With the
Um,
big blind ante.
Fashi just snap jams and yeah,
Just go.
Jesco definitely has to spin this one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna pass up on this one, and it's a huge
And
spot.
like, how much is it? It's gonna be a bit over 2, which, yeah, Ace 8 just folds, I guess. Yeah.
Let's
I'd
see.
assume ace though to find the muck here against two. To be
Especially
honest.
versus the cold
Yeah.
from Peter, obviously, with no perceived, well, not a lot of
Yeah, I mean
perceived
he
fold
does
equity.
obviously have fold equity, but
But yeah,
it's
it's just a spot where he's not going to put it in
no.
that light. Yeah.
Like he still has the pressure of having to beat the short stack, so it kind of is gonna depend on the difference between the two stacks if it's a better call or not,
Hmm.
because the side pot is gonna be like so important, even though it only costs you like 15% of your stack, you know. You
But
don't.
you'd much rather it the other way around, right? Where Jessica could find some of the suited broadways and then the other guy just flicks it in, rather
Yeah,
than
yeah,
this
yeah,
way
yeah,
where
yeah.
you're just going to be pretty toast, right? Yeah.
I mean, if it were like positions reversed, the short stack might be super tight though.
Just to allow the
Yeah,
potential
just
collision.
allow the race call.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's a bit of a tricky spot. I think ace eight still like might flick it in.
It looks like he wants to, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Just kind of wants to end it now, almost.
You can just put Jesco on like pocket sevens, king queen, and be like,
Go on then.
yeah, you know what's the worst that can happen?
1.8 to bust two guys.
Yeah, yeah, especially when he's already put in 500, right?
Yeah.
So, no, it's only like 4x more.
And a full big blind anti 5-handed as well, you
Oh
know.
yeah, that's a massive one as well. That's kind of why I wanted to advocate for
Just
jam in
jam.
the first place.
Agreed.
Just people can't really fold much, and they probably overdo it. Yeah, would have been interesting to see. I mean, Jesco would have definitely called against jam and call. Yeah, he calls. Or oh no, folds. Okay, fair enough. Yeah,
Okay.
immediately.
Gets out the way in the end after some theatrics and off to the races between.
Oh, and there's an 8 in the window. So,
After so much
yeah,
deliberation.
straight draw for the king queen or
Yeah,
the
no
queen jack.
hearts available for
So
either player. So
yeah, just the queen or the 9 to for Fashi to stay alive.
oh, the Cypriot
Yeah,
gutted with that one as Jetsko finds the elimination there.
just give him a fist bump and a handshake.
Yeah,
Uh,
takes it well in
yeah,
the
just
end.
like kind of whatever.
But you could
Okay.
see the
Yeah.
disbelief on his face, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
obviously disappointed with how things went there.
he doesn't really know what to
yeah.
do with himself, and you can't blame him, right?
Now, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
that's
yeah.
going to be a rather weird 30 minutes for him to decompress after such a emotional highs and lows
Yeah.
in the space of just 10 minutes.
His head will be spinning in bed if he's. I mean, it's not even late yet. So
Yeah,
it's like
7:40
spinning
local
during
time.
dinner and then probably take some drinks and an early night sleep is probably the best of this. But
The way to go.
yeah,
But yeah, Jesus.
down to four. All four remaining players 6,000 euros richer. Now having the better part of 22k locked up.
Yeah, and Jesco does a good job of getting some wiggle room between him and the fourth stack as well.
Yeah,
as
exactly.
It's all eyes on the Macedonian really now.
Yeah, the Macedonian definitely has to find a spot now as Christopher folds the queen 3 suited on the button. Just gives Jack Jesco very easy jam, of course.
Hmm.
Gives blinds a very nice collision spot here.
Yeah, he won't miss these.
Yeah, no, man, this is the easiest ever against the short stack. And Savesky just gonna have to call, yeah.
Yeah, and
Chop it up,
it's
maybe,
choppy
sometimes.
unless we find some spades or
Both
diamonds.
both suits are active,
Yeah.
so both of them have the one. You see everyone standing up again.
Not really much point in turning up in this one, but it could get
Oh.
interesting. Oh, we do
Hello.
have two spades.
Backdoor
so-
straight flush for the three of spades.
Oh wow.
Oh, that would be 20% of the time it hits. It's a lot of times.
No.
Black paint.
And Peter didn't even realize who had the ace of spades. It all happened so fast. He was like, "You have the spades, right?" Calling for the 5 of diamonds. Didn't even realize he's got the free roll at that point.
Wow.
Holy moly. What is going
Yeah,
on
it's a
here?
bit funny sometimes how they put the cards where it's like they don't put them in table order.
No, yeah.
So yeah, so they sometimes the dealer gets confused, like the left hand one, so left hand side wins, and then it's like no 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 wait.
Didn't I have that one, or did
Yeah,
he have? Yeah,
I
exactly.
definitely didn't raise jam this garbage. He got me to. Yeah, on to the next one after that blind v blind collision. Six raised to 40 with an openable hand. Just lets it go, which
It's like he's kind of retreated for a little
yeah,
bit, just
I think it's
maybe
just
the
gonna
emotions running high and not really wanting to make any kind of mistakes whilst he glances over at the two much inferior stacks.
I think Zaveski is definitely gonna limp here. Oh, no, never mind.
A
Not
respectable
enough to
fold.
see a fold.
Playing for a full big blind ante, you really
Yeah,
want
I
to be
mean,
pipping there a lot.
average ante is now 25%. You
Yeah,
know,
it's
25% of a big blind. You just cannot really give walks anymore.
no.
Even like
Even if
when
you feel like you're
it
going to
just
get
goes
jammed
limp.
on most of the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, it just goes limp check. Like
Hmm.
still a quite high frequency of the time. Um, you can still trap there, of course. Still
Yep.
have aces. Don't wanna discourage the other guy of seeing a flop. You know,
Hmm.
like yeah, just try seeing a flop in this kind of stack size is obviously
Just got to call.
a bit important. And maybe Peter is uh, a bit more aware of that kind of stuff.
Well,
As
actually,
you see,
this is the common format in Slovakia. The big blind ante, and Peter's obviously been
yeah,
grinding these tournaments and making a lot of final tables in smaller events. So I think he's actually in really good shape here to take advantage of the lack of awareness for the big blind ante,
yeah,
which is
fair enough.
something that's going to really come into play here.
That's usually what happens in like slower final tables where the more aware loser player is
Hmm.
gonna just win so many more chips than they might even be supposed to,
Yeah.
or at least as compared to the other players. Uh, so yeah, he might definitely be able to take advantage and win a couple more big blinds, giving him the extra like lesser luck needed to make a couple page jumps or even reach heads up in this point, which
Exactly.
is
Yeah.
a very tough ask at this point, having two stacks holding near enough to 80% of the chips in play or something.
Yeah, and potentially that small understanding edge
Because we
could
see
be giving
Jesko
him.
turn a gut shot here. Definitely a nice or interesting card to take a free one probably after check call.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what he's going to do there. It's quite.
it's quite hard to. Oh,
Wow,
Roylo.
it's
Well,
quite hard
there
to
it is.
perceive your opponent to have like light continues here. This
Yeah,
kind of
even
player
though
as
when
well.
they're supposed to have, um,
The
yeah,
queen
just
X,
a
king
lot
X,
of two
backdoor
overs
flush
to the
draw.
sevens with
Yeah.
flush draw,
Hmm.
some interaction with the seven. But
But yeah.
in theory, you would see a lot of check raises on these types of boards.
Hmm.
You say, yeah, and you see a big lead here,
And
which might be
that's
a bit overstepping his hand.
just a
Like you
little bit.
definitely want this with a seven. Um, I don't know if Christopher assumes that Jesko is gonna check back some turns with ace ten, for example,
Hmm.
which might be a good option.
Can be definitely a thing
Yeah,
versus the
obviously
big blind.
chops with ace five here,
But I think he's
chopping with ace
mostly
five now, but like
trying to
yeah,
target like underpairs to the ace, right?
yeah, but still like, a small bet achieves that as well and doesn't get hurts as much when you just get raised there. And maybe you just like snap folds first raise, which seems fair enough. Um, yeah, I don't see any other option than just putting in like 2 million here.
Yeah, he's gone for the non all-in
Yeah,
raise sizing. I really like that.
yeah, leave some chips behind if it's actually like yeah, it goes for 2 million exactly.
Hmm.
Just just a touch on the 3x. You could go smaller here, especially given stack. Could have gone. I don't know what was it. Like, I guess 1.5 is a bit too small, so like 1.7 or something. But just putting in half your stack basically,
Yeah.
which is what he's doing now. Uh, yeah, and then the ace deuce all of a sudden becomes yeah, not a great hand.
Pretty rough spot.
Yeah. And Jesko can easily just have nines here, right? I mean, he has Jack 10, so
Nines, Jack
that's a good
10,
hand.
where the bluff's coming from, like a Queen Jack or something like that.
And they probably want a 10 in there.
Yeah.
It's like King 10, Queen 10,
Queen 10, yeah, that makes more sense.
10 8. If he's opening up, I don't. It's hard to find bluffs here, right? I mean, it's
Definitely.
hard to find bluffs in general in these types of lines. Like, what do you do is with an under pair? Seems unlikely.
No.
Yeah, maybe sixes takes it, but gotta find it.
Yeah, exactly.
They just very comfortable fold to big bet, right?
Hmm.
And not really consider the other options like fives, like blocking 7 or blocking the weird floats with 6 5. We have 3 through a straight flush there. So it's a funny spot where you're probably not gonna see bluffs here a lot. Because I don't see tens or jacks bluffing here, to be honest.
No. More of a cool fold kind of
Yeah, yeah,
decision.
which might make it even better of a bluff. If
Yeah.
we're saying like, oh yeah, you can bluff those.
Exactly. But we are faced with Peter fortunately running into the backdoor straight and Cristoforo
Yeah, just show
deciding
fold.
to show fold.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Like something like when is a6 is a very interesting one, or ace 10.
Hmm.
Ace 10 obviously beats
Interacting with some of the
some
value
ace
range.
x as well,
Yeah.
right? Like an ace 10 might bet lead call. Ace 6 does chop with everything but blocks the 5 6 straight.
Hmm.
Peter might have opened and then went for the same line, even though I'd expect 5 6 to barrel off because
Yeah,
it's
the
6 high.
under.
The two unders,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. That would have been a more natural bet, whereas his Jack 10 didn't really want to face a 10
Yeah.
check raise and fold out a load of equity.
Is he considering the king 9 off here for tat on 10 bigs with the big blind ante to come as well? Just folds, awaiting a spot.
Take King 10? Would you take the King 9?
I'd be strongly considering the
Yeah,
king 9
that's
off.
right at the bottom for me, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like being in the big blind next hand and the antes being so massive, while you have two big stacks on there who are very disincentivized to, like, I mean, they can't really rejam,
That's true, yeah. And
so they'd have
calling
to
is awkward
call,
for
and
them.
then
Yeah,
the other player has to like find a hand to be in an even tighter spot, right?
hmm
And then you have Peter in the big blind, who is also like kind of disincentivized to call, of course.
definitely, yeah. With that leg up on you at present,
Yeah,
5.6
exactly.
versus your 2.
Yeah, it's still a healthy chunk of your stack. Like, I guess Peter doesn't mind if he actually has a hand, but yeah. Ooh, this is an interesting board. Or
Definitely.
could at least come to an interesting board.
Despite the
Still is.
monotone texture,
Yeah.
both players flopping a decent piece here. Cristoforo with the open ender, Reimar top and bottom.
Christopher could have considered some kind of leads here if it weren't mono. Uh, but yeah, just opting for seems to be just a range check.
Reimar electing to retreat further and further into that hoodie.
Yeah.
Almost not even seeing his eyes at this point when he retreats there.
Yeah, just going fully Darset mode.
Yeah, the Phil Lark special.
Yeah, the Unibomber. And speaking of a Unibomber with the big sunglasses, Christophorio here as well. Had a deliberate in his actions at most times.
Yeah, he's going to peel one off.
As we see another heart on the turn up here, which might be a bit of an action killer,
Yeah, dissuades both players from...
putting in a lot of chips. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. And that the other players at the table might realize as well. Like, it's gonna take some very special cooler for a heap of chips to come out here.
Yeah, whereas the offsuit 4 could have really been fireworks.
Yeah, exactly. And Christopher does have a nice bluffing hand here with 7 high, of course.
Can't really have a worse hand at this point, right?
Nope. No,
Oh,
I just fully gives up. Yeah, you have to show for everybody. 7 high. Yep, I can beat 7 high. I win. Yeah.
I will show one card and win. Christopher there tending to lean towards honesty. It
Yeah, I
feels,
would have loved to see him left there because
yeah.
might not put might not give our Polish friend a couple of flushes that Czech turn,
Hmm.
even though he might have to. But like,
He might, yeah, but
yeah,
you've got to ask the question, I feel, with arriving to the river with such a weak part of your range.
yeah, exactly. As we see Susanna here talking to the players a bit,
Yes.
congratulating them, and really telling them to not take down the scaffolding before the tournament's over.
Please don't rugby tackle the technical area. It's really important. I think that things have cooled down a little bit
Yeah,
after some heated incidents there.
we
And
see the
Reimer,
sixes open
yeah, it's gonna.
again into the short stacks big blind. Jesco might be tempted to do something here
He's
in the
definitely
non-limit
the
variety.
player I think that is the most capable of finding these out of the four.
Yeah,
We did see the
just goes
10.
for the very like relatively quick flat.
Hmm.
And Savevsky in a bit of a interesting spot here where small blinds flats are gonna be a hand that do a bit better against our end, right? The queen jacks, I mean jack ten suited gets in there as well, right?
Yep.
So it's a bit of interaction between small blind and big blind, and then
After some unfortunate technical difficulties, we are remaining with 3 left here at the Festival Series main event. And it's a battle between Macedonia, Poland, and Cyprus, or was it Greece?
I believe it was Cyprus. Yeah,
Cyprus.
good to see the stream back live.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah,
hope
apologies for the downtime.
didn't we did seem to miss Jeska's bust,
Yeah,
which was uh, I mean we couldn't really catch from here
we
if it was
saw
the actual sixes
the
hand.
king high, maybe a 6 on the turn or
Yeah,
something,
that
and that,
could have happened, or
yeah,
maybe just an all-in pre.
yeah,
In one of the other hands, we've had to unfortunately miss out on a lot of action. As have you guys.
yeah. The last time
Um,
we saw was a 3-way sixes versus queen 10 versus king 10, and it was a king 5 deuce, 2
yeah,
clubs board. Sixes had the 6 of clubs. Have we missed out on any slow roll attempts after the 9-9? Your guess is as good as ours.
yeah. We would not know as we see some chips being colored up here. We see the introduction of the red 500k chip. Always a good one to have, especially when it's the majority of your stack. And there's hate it when a good slow roll doesn't work out. It's kind of poetic justice though when you slow roll something and they turn out to have better, right? Just get put into place again. Yeah, stacks are being counted by tournament director Matos. We're just gonna have a little update on the stacks. Well, we're three-handed right now. We're not quite sure if they made a deal or anything. I'd assume not. Given especially the stacks distributions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of
we'll.
a waiting game to get the short stack out and then maybe look at some numbers or just continue. But a
Yeah.
huge spot for all players involved.
I think the payout structure also doesn't really lend itself to too many deals.
No,
Um,
it's at the moment 36.8k, then 57.8, and then 80. So
yeah,
extremely flat.
yeah, they might just be like, okay, it's only a bit under 15k for the next jump. Is it a bit over 20? Because if my eyes don't deceive me. Uh, yeah, I just see. So the stacks get the proper update right now. Do you try to keep the 100k ones, making the rest having to deal with the strange 25ks? Well, I believe, going into big blind 125k, 250k soon, so I'd very much like the 25ks to still be in there
Yeah.
instead of having to deal with whatever the consequences are of just having 100Ks and 500Ks. I believe last year we still had 25Ks in our stack. Definitely at this point. If we even... Yeah, we did make it to this point, I believe. Yeah. So we're back in action. See Christopher having 8 million chips.
Yeah, following the small blind.
Sayevsky having 5.4, now 5.5. And the rest of the, what looks like 17 million chips, go to our Polish chip leader right now.
So some information on Christoforos Christoforou.
Powerful name.
Yeah, you have a very classic Cypriot kind of name, right? Just as long as possible, with almost the surname and the forename being exactly the same. And he's had some decent results. Came third in the Greek Poker Champions main event here, the 175 euro bind for 13k. And not a lot apart from that, but does have a deep run
Seem
under
like
the belt.
a more recent Banco regular by the looks of it.
Coming over for some
Yeah.
of these, the Polish poker, the Cyprus series of poker.
Results only dating back to early 2022, kind of indicating that he's maybe not been playing poker for that long,
No.
or not been playing tournaments for that long, because
Yeah.
he might have been more of a cash game player
Certainly possible, yeah.
prior, but getting his fair share of results right now.
What's going on here is
See.
3.5x the button.
Yeah, seems like it. Like an okay-ish candidate to do it with if you're pulling a strategy like this.
Yeah, and Remar in the big blind with the ace-10. Always
Yeah,
interesting
this
to
is
see how people react to these massive sizings, because they are rather...
just jams.
Just jams.
That's very good. Yeah,
That's fair enough.
Yeah. It can be a bit scary to just jam into it, the first 3.5x.
Yeah.
But he might have been doing it for quite a long time already.
Yeah, because we're just catching up with the action. It
yeah.
could be something that he's now starting to implement and just does get out the way.
It does kind of put both stacks in a blender where calling becomes really bad or really rough at least, and just drives overall VPing down to forcing jams and forcing 3-bets.
Yeah.
Which get a much better price to steal, of course, because there's way more chips out there to win.
Added incentive of the PP ante sizing up does make a lot of sense. Interesting to see.
Would be interesting to see if he also adds limps to that. Then we get more in my ballpark of playing the game in a bit of a different fashion than the old 2 to 2.5x.
Yeah, the old classic autopilot 2x, which I don't think makes an awful lot of sense with big blind ante. It does make sense size up or limp, I think.
Yeah, it's a bit weird with ICM implications.
That's true.
So it kind of drives down the incentive to limp too much, like from button here at least. But I still believe you have. Yeah, that's just not a fold.
Wow.
10-5-0 just hitting the muck when the ante is worth a third of a big blind per person. About the chips again, Tobias, you just like just make it easier for the next blind level, you know. Just like don't wanna be a pain with the big jumps when you can just have 125 to 250k. Again, in mixed games, you don't get enough runners to even reach this level, so you know.
Ouch.
Maybe it's the old school stacks where you start with like 5k and then
then it's like
BB 100 and BB 250.
25 only chips.
Yeah, exactly. You have the blue hundreds. And the old poker star set there.
Grinding out. And Christopher with the ace-9. Top 3 list of favorite islands in the Mediterranean.
Ooh, that are bigger than Liechtenstein.
Christ.
Ooh, I'd have to say Malta is definitely up there.
Malta, yeah. Malta
probably Malta, Cyprus. I mean Majorca. It's
the Sicily.
Yeah, I was thinking Sicily, but it's a bit big, right?
Yeah.
It's a bit much of an island.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it doesn't quite cut the mustard.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's definitely having been to Cyprus recently. It's on the Turkish side at least. It's definitely an experience, and Well,
Yeah,
it seemed like a very beautiful country.
yeah, it's fantastic.
No love for the Greek ones. Ooh, yeah, that's a lot of islands to consider, to be
Yeah,
honest. God,
didn't quite
I
span through all of those.
yeah. Let me think. Lesbos could be an interesting one as well.
Where was I? I went to there was like a poker cruise that was running with some like it was like run by an Italian company, and we
Hmm.
went to a couple of nice spots in the Greek islands. The names
Limassol
desert
is
me.
that?
Limassol is the capital of Cyprus, no?
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
That there goes my Mediterranean geographical knowledge. Please don't spread that around. Isn't it Lefkosa? So there goes yours as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I thought it was Limassol, but maybe I'm getting confused with the only Cypriot football team,
Hmm.
A something Limassol, that kind of rear
Okay.
their head in the Europa Conference League.
Oh yeah, could be a bit of a mental games there. Picking a Greek stop where they
Yeah,
well having foreign teams just show up at the wrong island.
yeah. Missing by one letter.
Yeah.
Savievsky, just another walk with a really playable hand, 7-6 off. Yeah, so we're going to see a lot of these kind of
Ooh, at a single set. Greece has
23 qualifying. How
23.
did you find it? Is that straight into Chat GPT potentially?
Ooh, yeah, that
Yeah, I
could be
think
it.
so.
Yeah.
23 is very specific.
I mean,
Didn't have
maybe
time.
Senkel isn't young enough to understand ChatGPT. Yeah.
The wonders of AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna type that in when I get back. How do I get better at mixed games? See what GPT
Step one:
says.
learn Norwegian. Eavesdrop every conversation that
Yeah.
Senkel and Ciololini are having. Like, you're halfway there, buddy. As we
So
see a
we
very
got
pretty
Jack
hand in
9.
small blind disorbit. In 10-5 off deserves its respect as well.
10-5
Interacting
off
with
was kind of an interesting
yeah.
ISO candidate, no? Or like a raise first in, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly, yeah.
yeah.
And it makes every straight.
It does.
So
You've got always got some kind of backdoor, maybe,
yeah, sometimes.
or a blocker, or a blocker at least.
Blockers.
Yeah, yeah. So
It's
he
like
does live.
somewhat connected word, yeah.
Cristoforo 40 bigs with the king queen.
Yeah, just got an ISO and
Yeah.
then
Would expect to see
Yeah.
what sort of 650, 700, or.
I mean you could go bigger. He's been going for bigger sizing schemes
Mhm.
with the open, so and then with the bigger ante you might just
Yeah, he goes 850.
850. Okay,
Yeah.
nice. I mean Jack 9 so that just always calls. Guess you could. Yeah, I mean just call.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't treat
Gets
yourself
bit
to a
weird
jam
once
here.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, no. I mean, just calls. Would be weird if he grabs another couple of 500k chips in there and then
well, the
stacks it on top of the call and then
the 3-bet. Yeah,
yeah.
all in. Getting murky, and here we do
Oh.
have an interesting development
Yeah.
as Raymar flops the backdoor straight draw with
Yeah.
the front door flush draw.
Cristoforo.
Cristoforo 2 overs, backdoor flush draw.
Yeah, the king of spades is gonna be a key card, but just checks back. And this board obviously very much interacts with the small blind limp calls.
Yep.
And king queen kind of yeah.
Just
This
already,
isn't really the board for the ISO anyways.
already
Yeah.
trying to maneuver towards showdown with the king high.
Well, that's a turn. Could be some spice on if yeah, I don't think we're gonna see a river here to be honest.
No.
Seeing this bet cut out, he's gonna go full pot here.
Big old bet.
Maybe full pot minus 100k. Just a little scroll down. Yeah, a little little half a bit small
Little
blind scroll down.
down. Yeah, read into that what you will.
The exact half big blind scroll down. Is an interesting one for our non-mixed game players. Take some reads into that one. Yeah, this board obviously is
Just smashing him.
yeah
It's not
just
really
overloaded
gonna
in
get
EV.
jammed on the turn that often unless his
I
opponent.
mean, even
breaks
if
through a
you're getting
10.
jammed on
Yeah.
there, it's like
Yeah.
call.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What does the half big blind scroll down mean? That's a specific read you have to figure out yourself. All I'm saying is,
think
yeah,
about what the scroll up might mean, and then the scroll
yeah,
down. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, kind of indicative of
certain,
levels of
yeah,
comfort. Yeah,
yes, exactly.
yeah, it's definitely a thing. That's good. You protected yourself with the
Yep.
old school mouse. Just the 2 clicks.
Tobias seems like one of those touchpad type
Touchpad.
players.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, with the pizza juice from yesterday.
yeah. Whoa, slip,
Whoop.
mouse slip. Let's see, nice suited days.
Yeah,
Nice suited days here.
yeah, Rima motoring on, and
Let's see
another.
if he uses 2.5x instead of min raise. The most insulting thing, is that like a compliment? It's like the opposite of insulting.
Yeah, he has gone for 500, so he does.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, we did see him in the
Maybe
Bratislava deep stack having the same structure with the big blind ante going for the min raise, and in spots where he could have been jamming. Obviously, in this configuration right now versus 35 and 20, it's not really open jamming
yeah,
territory
yeah.
just yet.
And obviously, Silvevsky having a suited hand is just gonna C3. And flopping second
flopping a
pair.
piece, yeah.
A6 with some better than wheel backdoors. It's always nice to have the A6 when you have the straight draws and just make the wheel versus someone else's wheel, but
Yeah,
you still
exactly.
have a 6 kicker with it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Didn't see that one
unlucky,
coming.
buddy. You know that doesn't count the PLO, yeah, the 6 when you have A6.
Yeah, exactly. You've just got the air ball.
Yeah.
Double blocking each end. So it's so nice when you're in Hold'em to actually have something.
You see Ilya going for the actual block after check, protecting his hand a bit.
Yeah, rainbow board, no backdoor.
Oh yeah,
But it's a good one
that's a
to
very
blast off.
bad beat. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You just see bet flop and then Bedugi turn comes.
Yeah.
So you're like, ooh, but I'm unblocking all the
I'm
floats.
blocking all the
Oh,
floats, and there you go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
clean river, although.
Might see a double block here. No, S5 is just gonna be good. Maybe just goes check and win. Like I don't see Ace 6 ever
Reopening
bluffing
here,
here.
that would be.
6 is particularly bad.
Yeah, you want some 6-7, 6-4,
Yeah.
6 deuce.
Just want to see give ups from actual bad hands. Like some spade variations might. I'd be curious if Ilya is gonna value bet like 9x of spades on the river. I'd assume so.
You'd hope so, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, facing such a what would mostly be capped
Yeah.
check back.
Like I have a hard time seeing the pole there show up with a queen.
Yeah, unless he's got 2 of them or something like that. That's
Yeah,
as
yeah,
far as
fair
check
enough.
backs go.
And even then, you'd probably want to keep up the aggression.
Yeah.
Like hope that your opponent has some equity on the 5-3. It's gonna be interesting 3-handed to see if Christopher folding the 10-8 off. And him and Ilya are now somewhat close together, so this is gonna be an interesting dynamic of trying to get in probably as few pots with the chip lead as possible, but also not bleeding to death to either of them.
Yeah, kind of tiptoeing around each
Yeah.
other, allowing the dogfight for the other player.
Kind of maneuvering, yeah.
Hoping that Gabriel can dent the other guy whilst you just sit there and
Yeah, lick your
yeah,
chops,
lick your
yeah.
chops, exactly.
See, Ilya just flopping the double gutter here. And Rimar is just having absolutely none of it. There it goes.
Ooh, that's the 5. Completing the bottom end of the straight.
Yep. Putting out the 4-liner, probably wants to check again, to be honest. Just allow big blind to blast off, but just go for the slightly over half pot bet.
There's the click up.
Yep. Okay.
The scroll up from
Might see
Sebevsky.
something here utilizing the three of hearts, but you just don't have any equity when you can just use a 10 and
Hmm.
yeah, just give up the hand. It's easy enough. It's small pot. No need to get all fancy just because
Yeah, and
when check
also
check and then
also
yeah.
a board where when you do start to see small blind going north of half a little bit there, you're probably not going to be expecting many air balls.
Which online poker site would you prefer getting a sponsorship with, Mr. Molnar?
Puts you in a tough spot there.
That's yeah, that's good. It's definitely not GG poker.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely not. Um, good one. Let's see what have we got? So we've got all the iPoker skins, which are some of the partners on this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Could be a nice
WPT Global chucking a load
WPT
of money
Global
at it.
actually.
Yeah, chucking
Yeah, that
a,
would be nice.
just
Getting
signed Dave
get,
Styles.
getting a few buy-ins for the live WPT events.
Yeah, and the WPT the steps that are on there as well.
Yeah,
There was like at the start of that site there was some decent overlays for the weekly 10k package thing.
ooh, that would have been really nice. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then obviously I think Stars is the main
Still
contender
pretty
still.
clean and consistent. Yeah.
Yeah, very safe.
Yeah.
Still
Great
trusted site,
security.
Yeah, that's.
Games have died somewhat, but
Yeah.
as you say, they are like.
I think if they sign me, the games are gonna be more alive again. It's like,
Bum,
oh,
bum,
this guy's
bum,
getting
bum, bum,
played.
bum, bum, diddle-diddle-diddle.
Yeah, I think.
I'd chuck ACR in the hat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah,
But
I wouldn't be against any offer. Let's just say that one. So if
keeping
if
his
any
options
site
open.
reps listening,
Yeah.
yeah, just chuck me a DM on the Insta
Yeah.
with an actual professional account and not some spam.
Yeah. Let's talk.
Yeah, let's. My ears are open. You see Christopher with the ace 10 in small blind, getting to play against a similar stack here.
Yeah, the Macedonian bridging the gap somewhat now. I think
Yeah.
that they are between just a couple of big blinds in it. I think Christopher has the slight advantage. Looks like he's going to go for the raise first in.
And I'd expect something like 3.5 to 4x again.
Yeah, 700, 750, something like that.
Very spot on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of always in that ballpark. 8-4 suited is an interesting one.
I think Peel with the
Yeah.
the ante right.
Yeah, and you just have 2-2 straight flush, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
and 8-3 suited. Would you just
Yeah, I'd feel hard pressed to fold
yeah
like much of the suited variety, to be honest.
yeah
Especially with like a third BB ante.
defending exactly the
Yeah.
big blind ante suited hands, I guess. Just
Yeah,
more
you just
playability
yeah
in
you just play in
position.
position,
Yeah.
so it's like, and we're 30 bigs deep, start of hand, so like if we flop like pretty good equity, we're mostly getting some chips, and we're easily getting it in across multiple streets or across at least 2 streets, right?
Yeah.
If you just bet some normal size over like half pot.
Yeah, so just allow him to get loads of faults from your
Ooh,
weaker
and
offsuit
we're
stuff.
seeing
Whoa, what's going on
oh,
here?
that seems like
That's a huge bet, is it?
1.2.
Yeah, 1.2.
Okay,
That's two-thirds.
this is
This is
a bit grim for the 8-4, but I think you still have to peel one.
yeah, kind of
Kind of
disincentivizes
ideal,
any. Yeah, there's like not even much room for bluff raising now.
Yeah.
Just kind of peeling one off in position. Still have loads of strong hands that are just going to call in position, so it's not like we're super capped or whatever, and
Yeah,
it's going
no.
to be easy to maneuver off on the turn. We're just going to be peeling all of our 2 pairs straights, even some 9x as
Yeah,
well.
exactly. And that's one of the cards he was hoping for. Yeah, now you're just with this big bet. You've set up a SPR of 1, and just like, what do you do now? You have ace 10.
Yeah,
Good job.
yeah.
Like, are you just gonna blast it into a range that has all the straights, all the 2 pairs?
Mm-hmm.
No, just checks, and now 8-4 high. probably sees a free one. I mean, you don't really wanna. I don't think there's much incentive to even.
To just slam here in position? No,
He does go all
he
in.
does.
Yeah, I mean, and now you just have ace ten high and are just getting left off the pot. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
thanks for spotting that, Tobias.
ticking things off
Yeah,
the list.
yeah. Check podcast. Any chip races somewhere? Any Twitter threads? Burning bridges, you know?
Anyone needs some gossip from the festival?
Oof.
Ooh,
Slide in.
Christopher there with a little bit of a misstep on the
Yeah, and just
connected board.
all of a sudden he's very much in the trouble seat when Ilya is definitely
Yeah,
shown to be very much the most um,
consistent. I would say.
consistently aggressive as
Yeah.
well. Like not really misstepping. He might miss some rejams in some spot. Like he missed the ace ten, I guess,
Mhm.
which we were pretty convinced to just jam versus
Yeah,
raise and call.
was really clean. Yeah, especially with the small blind being so capped there. There's not really any other traps, and
Yeah,
um,
but yeah, other than that, he's been very on point. It seems
yeah,
in his post flop play, and the other guys kind
it's
of have to deal with that. Like
yeah,
Christopher, who
exactly.
has arguably misstepped
A few
once or
times.
twice.
Some random over aggression, some
Yeah,
complete under aggression as well, and Rima has. He's in a big spot, and he does have obviously the bolstering confidence from the win in the Bratislava deep stack. But now we're playing for 5.5 times the money
yeah, exactly.
in the same week. Potentially some leftover adrenaline running from the previous run, and now he's got to compose himself and regroup. And he's done a decent job of it so far. He's found some really good spots.
Yeah, once again going for the ISO this time with a suited hand. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this, to be honest. I mean, at least he's taking the bottom end of it,
Yeah,
like the bottom high card suited hands.
yeah.
But you mostly want to just pull from the bad offsuits,
Offsuit low
like the seven
playability.
deuce, 6-3,
Jack
8-4
deuce.
off, like all that garbage, and not the stuff you don't really regret not checking
Mhm.
when the guy just all of a sudden slams it in your face, right?
Yeah.
Or makes some kind of three bet.
Yeah, this kind of class of hand has almost got such middling equity
Yeah,
versus
you don't
that
want
type.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the middling hands want to play the middling against the other middling hands, and that happens in limp check, especially when Ilya might be playing some kind of RFI spree. I just see him check
Goes,
fold the king nine.
goes with the
Uh,
old serve and volley.
yeah. It's a bit of aggression paying off there, of course,
Yeah,
but like, yeah,
can't be bad, especially as Christopher, after the misstep, is kind of sat there lurking with
yeah.
just a shade
And
over
Ilya is
22
gonna
points.
recognize that as well, being a more clear second place now.
And Senko makes a nice point. I feel like Ilya would be capable, but we might see him refrain from the counter aggression strategy
Sure,
there with the
yeah,
full bet non all ins that maybe he could and
yeah.
should
That's a
try.
that's a valid point. But then again, you're still ISOing against the flatting range, or you're ISOing against the range that can just call,
Yeah.
which yeah, then makes problematic for post, I guess. A lot more of the issue when you get into all the other nodes as well, when you just like start ISOing everything
Yeah.
because the guy doesn't do anything. Like the times you don't ISO, all of a sudden you're missing a chunk of hands
Yeah.
from that game tree at least. And you can
And
you
you
can
just
you can
have
always just pretend to still have everything, of course.
less hands to defend down the streets, less
Yeah,
playability, less suited hands if you're just popping it up with whatever you looks half decent. Yeah.
yeah. All of a sudden you're on like a motherboard and be like, oh, I have all the flushes,
And
when in reality you've ISO'd all of them.
yeah. Can leave you a little bit exposed. But
Yeah.
Raimar here Picking up the nines.
Picking up the nuts on the button.
Yeah, great spot for him.
Yeah.
500k seems to be his preferred size.
Yeah, seems fair.
Devs,
Just
definitely.
absolutely nothing in small blind again. And yeah, Savetsky just comfortable call here. Could argue
There's some
wanted
jamming, I
to.
think,
Yeah,
potentially.
like
This kind of hand.
not exactly with the shorty in there.
No.
I mean, it might make it a bit better, but Roymar isn't exactly gonna fold nines, is he?
No, no, no.
No, especially when he's basically gonna be even in chips, even if he loses that board.
Mm-hmm.
See a similar type of board, but this is a obviously different situation.
Just going to go with the lead.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I don't know about this against
Hand
button.
selection. Button still going to have like relatively decent coverage as the chip leader. Obviously more incentivized to open.
Yeah,
Not
we just
necessarily going to be shooting a blank on this kind of texture.
yeah, probably like he's blocking basically to not have to face a big bet. I'm thinking.
We had a similar spot to this earlier where I think
Yeah, I would just definitely raise.
yeah.
Yeah.
There was a jacks yesterday on the stream where I misinterpreted the spot and he did end up calling, but I think in actual fact you need protection and to just
Yeah.
start getting some money in versus Atex and
As he does
deny
now, yeah.
versus gutters and stuff like that. And even this hand has an overcard, a backdoor flush draw, and a backdoor straight draw.
Yeah, now you kind of put yourself in a spot with the suited ace that pretty much had a pretty comfortable check call against normal size, and now just
Yeah,
ends up putting in chips and not even seeing a turn.
yeah, and just picking them up and moving along.
Bit unfortunate.
It's a good execution there from the Polish player.
Yep.
A little bit commotion in the background, so just going on pause there for a couple of seconds. And as far as hand classes go to lead, Senko making the point that that was a rather peculiar one, which was also my intuition. What sort of hands would you prefer to see?
Uh, well, you see a bunch of interaction with the actual board, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you
So
wanna have
backdrop.
like 5x, 6x, 7x, and then add 8x, like all those hands, and then you have depending how wide you defend big blind, um, you're gonna have so many hands already that's fall into that hand class that you don't really need to pull from the ace x.
Yeah,
The problem becomes when you pull this strategy and you have some backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw, ace highs. That all of a sudden when you check, now what you have?
yeah.
Like maybe you check the nuts, right? Sure.
But you're just going to have much less coverage if you
Yeah.
just go for the lead
You
there.
you just carve out a big chunk of your range by even implementing a leading range.
And yeah,
in this sort of
the
stuff.
Jack 10 and the Jack 9.
They still build. Yeah.
Yeah. But he was saying that leading with those maybe to get some, the naked king high, queen highs to fold.
It would be a very small part of the range that he actually gets to fold for that small of a lead.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to fold like, I don't know, 10-15% total.
What do you think about Rymal's fold with the king 9 versus the
Just for sharp five?
3.5? Again, he went to 700k.
I just C3.
Yeah, seems a little tight, I thought, as well. King 8 off, I mean,
I think you can still probably defend King 6 off with this big of a chip lead.
yeah.
It
Just
probably
'cause your opponent's-
it probably stops there. I'm assuming Christophorus is doing it linearly, so
Mm-hmm.
not implementing limbs, or we haven't even seen any limbs. So it's just yeah, just you could use that as a 3-bet.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the thinking there is, oh, this looks like a good board for me. I'm going to lead. Like I
Yeah.
could take this one down now, right? Rather than have to face a bet and be in an uncomfortable situation out of position versus
Yeah.
someone that is going to implement a lot of aggression against me. So why don't I make my decision easier and just try and take it down? And not worry about having to face too many raises.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Did you see Ramar not giving a walk with the jack 3 off? Definitely changing gears now that he's this big of a chip leader, holding pretty close to 2/3 of the total chips in play now.
Yeah,
Like just quietly picking up those spots, getting another, was it 500, 600k from Ilya just now.
yeah,
Now
it's
this one,
just so big to pick up
yeah,
these, even these, just the two big blind pickups.
yeah.
You know,
I
you
mean,
get
there's
that
five
done.
big blinds in the middle now, so or seven even. Like
Yeah,
if he wins this spot, that's just compounds, right? And we see a
he is going to
very
win
good
the
board
spot.
for his RFI.
Yeah,
I mean, the
it's.
Jack of Clubs and the three both interact with both parts of the board. So
Hmm.
I'm thinking if this just goes, I don't know, 350k, still gonna get a call, or it should probably get a call. But yeah, then obviously aggression looms.
I'd be interested to see if Cristoforo defends this type of hand class.
Oh, it goes bigger.
Okay, so probably just gets an easy fold now.
Oh yeah, both of them just interact with backdoors. Yeah,
Hmm.
backdoor wheel, backdoor Broadway, backdoor flush draw. Like, it's a pretty interesting one. I so went for B40, I guess.
Yeah,
Like 650 into 1.4 again.
yeah, shade
Which,
over. Yeah.
yeah, I I kind of like the hand selection, of course. So there's just so many turns where you can just barrel equity.
Hmm.
Um, on the other side of that, you kind of don't want to barrel equity when you can just get slammed on and
And you've already driven down the SPR and also the continuing range to a
yeah,
point that's kind of thin versus this type of player. Once he does call the turn, then flop, then all of a sudden your turn
yeah,
barrels become a little less efficient. I
yeah,
feel rather
exactly.
than going for the smaller size.
You're already like race first in or a
Yeah,
big size, then you bet flop a chunky bit.
yeah,
You're already getting into the territory of oh, it might just be my flush draw that's live.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, we see him actually jamming here, or the graphics wrong here? No,
That goes for the
no, it
ace
just
into
goes for the
500.
500k.
Yeah. Cristoforo, Jack 7 suited.
Yes, probably just hitting the mark. If this were Chip EV, I'd want to see a call here, to be honest. He's minning now, so we're in the new blind
Oh
level.
wow.
So change of gears, going back to the strategy that you've mentioned, him doing a deep stack,
Yeah.
just min raising a bunch of hands, which
Hmm.
obviously makes sense. You have the button and there's a big ante in there.
Hmm.
Uh,
And people are under defending all over the show, and for good reason in some
yeah,
ways.
yeah. And small blind's probably not super big enough in general. But yeah, there's definitely a very big looming sign of who's gonna actually come out victorious here with the last few orbits
It's looking rather
going the Polish
ominous,
way.
isn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
It's getting
Gabriel closing in on back-to-back wins here at the festival in
oof.
two big field events. That's something that you don't see that often.
Yeah, back to back would have been nice. Yeah, Ilya going for the limp with the A60. I'm assuming this is just purely to limp jam or limp call versus jam, maybe. Uh, it's a bit weird with the shorty being on the button here. King 5-0 going for the check, which could have opted to just pile in
Slam, yeah,
everything.
slam,
Yeah,
exactly.
I've
Getting,
definitely taken a couple of those, and Solver definitely likes some offsuit King X variety of those. Uh, but yeah, just see check check, and probably gonna just see showdown here. Two hands that don't really benefit from putting in much money when they can just win a decent amount of the pot quite often. Somewhat interesting river, but ace high is still ace high, and king high is still king high,
yeah, not
with
likely to
3
see
BB in there.
any kind of chips being moved into the middle here. Unless Reimar decides that he doesn't feel like he's actually got showdown versus the triple
Yeah,
check,
no,
but
and you're just gonna get snapped off by ace high or a bunch if you
yeah.
bet or like 375 here. Yeah, it's kind of a gentleman's agreement of oh yeah, yeah, high card, which one's better?
Yeah, no need to get too out of line.
Yeah, exactly. No need to be all fancy and put in 20 big blinds for no reason.
Hmm.
Oh, and we see Primer folding King
King
6-0 in
6-0?
the small blind?
It's closer to a jam than a fold, and
You what, mate?
yeah,
What? What is that? What happened there?
it was really starting to look like he'd kind of
Did you
gathered
just...
a comfort at the in the spot, you know, and was going through the motions and picking up all the dead money, and he just let 7-3 get a walk.
Yeah,
Um,
this seems not it.
yeah, wow.
Not to be rude here, but that's just like
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no.
Don't want it to use too harsh of a word, but there are certainly.
Certainly some alarm bells going, and now he has 9-6 suited on the button. I'm not gonna predict what he's gonna do
Yeah, it's
because
tough.
you know
Sometimes he's finding the open here, sometimes he's just mucking it.
maybe he's
Um,
just very much afraid of 20 big blind stacks. Well,
Overly concerned, yeah, but
yeah,
I mean,
it's
you need to take some solace from the job that he's been doing over the last
yeah, of
five
course,
orbits, right? He's just
yeah,
been cleaning shop
yeah. Just been vacuum chips
without
and
really having to do much.
King the suited might have treated himself to a jam here. Doesn't.
Yeah, it would have been a decent one.
Yeah, just if you can assume that button is actually finding the V pips, which
Yeah, and
honestly probably might not. Um,
the big raise
I'm
fold
guessing
trap.
at the yeah I'm guessing at this point that the Polish god the first name is just blanking out of my head every time.
Gabriel.
Gabriel,
Yeah,
yeah, thanks. Um, Gabriel's might even be supposed to be jamming a large chunk of the deck,
versus 20 and
and
20. Yeah.
yeah, and just min raising top and bottom
Mhm.
basically.
Yeah, it's already getting into that territory, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's very clear having this much of this mu this big of a chunk of all the chips. You just
Where even if you double someone, you're still a convincing chip leader.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then like the guy doubling just can't really play pots against you, right?
Mhm.
It's the ace trio limps here where I would yeah
Some
in,
jamming.
yeah I'd probably consider jamming, and then obviously we're versus ISO. I'm always jamming
Easy one.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. We've seen that Reimars could be rather too linear or
yeah,
too happy to ISO in position.
yeah. Especially with hands that have very nice playability, as we see Savevsky taking the lead back from the flop top pair, checking back.
This is
Uh,
all getting a little bit in the weeds now, isn't it?
yeah, this is
It's just
very odd.
strange. And is he going to now bet the turn on the A's?
Yeah, this is all very
Oh,
very strange to me.
yeah. Might need a little fresh air and a bit of a break outside or something. Is he kind of losing a bit of control over the dominating performance over the last 5 orbits or so,
Yeah,
as
exactly,
mentioned.
and just hits him with a call, which you can. I mean, I just raise.
Yeah.
You, we have two pair versus a guy not betting quite often, and now we're now just checking and goes check check, and we always win. Yep, seems like it. Yeah, 9-6 kind probably struggles to get value here again, and two pairs is announced, and you're like, what? What are you doing? Hey, what?
Yeah, I've got you.
Like, you got me.
Well, he actually somehow managed to get away from losing a pretty big pot there.
Yeah, I mean, should just go bet flop call and then
Check, check, big
check
bet.
check big bet
Consider
call.
calling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You just block all the straights. You just
Mhm.
got a pair of life blind. You know, like, what can you do?
Yep. Chips in the middle. Nice
Yeah,
answer.
yeah, yeah. And Ilya kind of laughing. Like, probably somewhat realizes that he could have played that hand in a multitude of different ways and gotten more money in on basically every street.
Yep.
Especially after check check flop, you just so easily turn raise when I don't know even what Gabriel is trying to rep. It's just some kind of check back ace that doesn't check back, you know. And I'd like to slam this.
Yeah, let's see if we
Just put him in
can.
the blender, just 10 million. Yep,
There we
there we
go.
have.
So,
Finds that.
yeah, finding some stuff, kind of completely not understanding the small blind versus big blind P-pip
But
strategy.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if, yeah, I mean, this just falls.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad. But
Yeah, it is sad. He's got double third, right?
yeah, yeah. So,
And not that incentivized to take a
no, I
quote
just want the
unquote
page up,
thin
yeah.
spot.
Yeah. I mean, you're just mostly gonna be behind in the 60-40, which isn't great.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the
the
most
times that you're flipping is
the most
not gonna
natural
outweigh
take.
that.
Is
And
always going to be like pretty ace-x tense,
yeah,
despite
yeah,
what
exactly.
other hands
And it's
should be.
supposed to be, right?
Yeah, yeah. There's just many
Yeah,
fewer combos of the suited broadways that you're doing well
yeah,
against, right?
exactly. Much rather race call like ace nine suited, right?
Yeah, yeah. Get in all of the offsuit wheels and
Yeah, just
ace
win
deuce
against
suited.
deuces again,
Yeah.
and you're there. Yeah, he's talking about the beating a flip, but like, yeah, picking up some nice hands here on the button. Yeah. Oh, you don't want to flip,
It's a
and
nice little momentum boost.
yeah,
And
hey, I
too
hand to
too good.
jam.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't
Ace
want to
seven off or
criticize too
something.
much, but yeah,
Might be
gets gets two hands to fold that could have v-pipped both of them.
yeah.
Like the king six suited from small blind could have re-jammed it over min raise. Queen jack definitely would have seen three,
Mhm.
which might not be bad for ace ten to fold that out, but you know,
Just pick up some
some
variance free
additional
chips
chip, yeah.
and just keep moving on in the direction of steamrollering the other two remaining players as they dwindle down here, kind of in a bit of a dogfight for second right now.
Yeah. But it kind of is waiting for Christopher to pick up a hand to actually play hello.
Whoa!
Hey,
There
whoa,
he goes.
pick up a hand, you say.
Is he
A
gonna
plane, a
limp?
plane comes flying in. It's the American Airlines.
I don't think he's gonna go for the 3.5x again somehow.
Might limp.
Yeah.
Might actually find a limp first.
Oh.
Oh, just min raise. Shaky hands. Yep, just goes for the min. Oh, 600.
A little min plus.
Yeah. They'll scroll up and probably just gonna see two folds.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's not been too active in this period of the game. Just, you know, nice hand. Next one.
Mhm.
Don't need to battle for every pot. Seems like a full. Yeah, it's pass. Yeah. And you're like, ah, it aces. Yeah, double look back.
Yeah, yeah. A little look at the camera as if to
Yeah.
say, "Come on." Thought that was my double up there.
Yeah,
Fortunately not.
not quite it. As we go on to the next hand with Ilya on the button. See if he finds something to play with. Folds to Jack 7-0. Seems reasonable in this kind of distribution. And rebound might just give him a walk. Yeah, it must be a bit frustrating for Ilya just seeing massive chip lead just give walks like that.
Yeah, walks
It's like,
quite frequently as well. It's
yeah,
like 3 in the last 5 small blind versus big blind
yeah.
or something around that ballpark. And
Might just try to force Ilya to open more buttons
Yeah.
and then play back at that, as we saw with the was it the Ace 3-0.
Mhm.
It might just be a bit of a game of that where, oh, you want to not open button. as we move on to the next one. See Remar again with the shovable hand here. Um, I might just go. I just might actually just raise normally. Goes all in. Yep. This seems. Still, like, that seems like a fold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
a
just shows you the power of the.
bit of a painful one for Christofori there. If he watches that back,
Gonna feel like he was done or had.
yeah. I mean, I feel like there's gonna be more than one spot of these where he feels like
Yeah, it just feels like
might have had to
time.
take that one, or
Yeah.
might have misplayed a certain hand. Where
Kind of.
if something else happened, then I could have been there with the 21 million.
Yeah, kind of handing over any faint chance of winning the tournament in some ways.
Yeah,
right?
I
Gotta
mean,
make
at some
those-
point you kind of have
gotta make a thin
to.
call.
Yeah,
It's not really that thin either.
yeah,
Seven
no.
Suited.
King 7 suited does way too well, as we see
Yeah.
another like very comfortable one.
Yeah, it's just gonna.
I
send
mean,
this one home.
the two other players have 8 million between them at best.
Yep.
And you have two Broadways, like, yeah,
pretty quick.
exactly. As we see the V pips now creeping to a level we'd expect them to be at.
Yeah. There's
Yeah,
so many of
definitely.
those.
Just take, but just picks up the aces.
Yeah.
Have they done a deal? I don't believe they have done a deal. No, and I don't think the payouts make it incentivize deal making at this stage, anyways.
Yeah, it's quite flat. So
Yeah.
just put exclamation payouts just to show you. But we're.
Oh, as we see Jack for off flopping bottom pair against the aces of Ilya. Definitely gonna see more than one than here. Yeah, just
Yeah, just peeling along for the ride. Flop the pair and a limp pot.
I'd have made a 2/3 deal. I'm not sure how that would work. But if you have any suggestion of what that would look like, I'd be happy to entertain the thought.
Yeah.
As not much of a deal maker myself.
No, I don't really get what do you mean by 2/3. Like you want 2/3 of the remaining prize pool, which would be.
Or 2 or 3 getting the same stack, which would probably kill. Oh, and that spells the end of Ilya.
Yeah, that's gonna be a.
Ooh. Check on turn. This is just such an easy value bet call.
What, they chop up second and third and you get first? Is that
Yeah,
what you're saying?
no,
Yeah, I think that's quite ambitious.
it's no. I don't think either of the players in the second and third place want to relinquish any shot of playing for the 80k.
Spinning it up, right?
Yeah, like when your heads up, more often than not, it's very close to still having a definite percentage chance of winning. Uh, Probably close enough to 30 to 40% even.
Getting back to this, as we do see,
As we see the aces
the
just
inevitable.
get put in, yeah, and I mean you're just never getting away from this. You can have check back some kings that just value jam now. You can make up some bluffs with 3x, right?
Yeah, some random 6 or something.
Yeah. You can think like 3 deuce being a card that he might want to bluff instead of just call.
Yeah.
And maybe get a fold from the.
We've like bet check blocked as well, so in terms of like where we're at in our range, we've got the absolute nuts.
So not like this, nothing relinquished. Side deal if you both second or third. Yeah,
Don't really understand.
I don't get it. I'm sorry.
Might need a little bit more detail, JJ. I'm pulling a blank on that one as well. So nothing relinquished. So what's second if they both 20k ladder split? Yeah, so that's
just
second
taken
and
off.
third. Just get half featured.
Yeah. Oh yeah, in the race.
It's
You
too
just
late
bet
for that,
calls and then
unfortunately, from Savevsky, as he has a wry smile. Might have been a little bit worried about the Jack 5, Jack Deuce, Jack 4, but not really much of a consideration there.
Yeah, that's just an unfortunate spot to be in. In the end, you just have.
It has worse value. So.
Yep. And the means will be on a short break, setting up the heads up here. We'll probably be back in right around 3-4 minutes, probably at most.
And we'll see if Gabriel can close things out for his second win of the week and a career-defining score of 80,000 euros.
Okay, you tell me.
So we're here for the heads up, and it's the last 2 remaining players as we play down to the winner of the festival series, and you wouldn't need to be too clued up to guess who's going to probably walk away with this one. If you just look at the stacks there, Gabriel Reimer is in an insane position for his.
I would say it's David via Goliath.
Yeah.
It's David via Gabriel.
Exactly. It's he would really have to screw this one up.
Gives a walk with the suited hand.
Yeah,
that's
on the big blind ante.
Strong start.
I actually looked at this heads up big
no
blind
folding,
ante.
sir.
3 deuce off. It's the only one. 99%.
People under ISO. So
Whoa.
yeah. Winning a hand with 3 deuce suited heads up is very fun though.
It is.
I can very much appreciate or very much recommend it.
You always talk yourself into having a good bluff candidate because I'm at the bottom here. So.
Yeah. But I show up with 3 high. Like he'd never expect this.
Never see it coming. I've got the back door clean diaper.
Yeah, exactly. You see.
Yeah.
Extremely strong hand here.
Yeah. Probably just gonna jam.
I got scared there for a second.
Oh God, the fold would have been outrageous.
My lord.
No, he's just taking some time to get used to the situation.
Well, fair enough. You don't want to make any mistakes here. Playing for this amount of money, knowing that Gabriel's just coming off a live score, kind of boosting his bankroll in the multiples, and now
all
just
happening at once, right? It's he probably came into this week just thinking, right, I'll play some of the smaller events and see how I get on.
Play the 125 turbo and then
the
see what happens.
Maybe, and with the Hendon Mob 5k cashes, and all of a sudden you've won one of the biggest side events, and now you're just heads up in the main.
Yeah. Having well over 50k locked up. Playing for another 23. Yeah, I mean.
In all seriousness, though, he has composed himself in the sense of like his outward emotions. I think quite well.
Yeah. He has a good table
presence.
Presence.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, let's see how he handles the heads up. There's very wide ranges, of course, and
Can be easy to be quite uncomfortable with that.
yeah, yeah, and also sometimes people feel the need to always be bluffing. As we
Yeah.
just see 10 high, show it down here, lose to the king high.
Yeah.
Very fair hand here.
Trapping prey with the king 8, just going for the limp call.
Yep. And just, yeah, there's just a fair amount of giving up, or basically taking it to showdown, or giving up in heads up, just because there's so many combos that you can use that definitely are gonna outperform in certain spots.
Yeah.
And you can just, once you have all the combos, you can just much better pick and choose what you
Calculated
pick instead of
aggression, right.
having some kind of low jack versus high jack 3-bet pot, where ranges are so extremely narrow that you cannot pass on certain bluffs and have to. This
Yeah,
way.
you just got to take this combo and that combo. It's easy to like autopilot learn those. There's queen
Oh,
4
yeah, yeah.
off. Goes
Yeah,
into the
Christopher is definitely locking up here and trying to hope for some top 10% hand instead of
Yeah,
taking the spin with his 10 BB and the full big blind ante.
there's two bigs out there, and we've got a Broadway card. It's like
Yeah.
we're in. Unfortunately, that's just the way it works. If you think about like a calculation I used was that, let's say they usually play a tenth of a big blind in an ante.
Yeah.
So there'd usually be
That's the
1.2
usual,
out
yeah.
there. It's like 2 divided by 1.2, and then it like this is essentially playing like 6 bigs average if you're looking at like
Yeah.
some
Yeah,
normal
yeah,
chippy
yeah.
V, right? Whereas they are thinking that, oh, I've got 11 big blinds, like I don't want to take the queen 4, like
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When in reality, you just have. I think some old school calculation of it, which I don't use, is M,
Yeah.
like the number of orbits that you have.
That's a good one, yeah. because
Yeah,
That's
that
actually
kind of comes down to the same thing, I guess.
Yeah,
where
similar
the number of
calculation,
orbits.
the other way around, essentially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. To see another limp from the king for off would have
I
maybe
prefer
liked
just
the
to
jam here. Yeah.
This one, yeah, especially.
Hey, you know, gets the dominated 10 for off to C3 cards,
Yeah,
which is not a bad
not a bad outcome in the end.
so far, at least. Oh, and
Queen high 10. Oh,
Yeah.
10 for Cristoforo. There we go. Middle pair. Just go for a.
goes for the check. I expect some amount of betting here.
Apologies for the lagging.
Just goes check check. Turn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's been a pretty rough stream with some very energetic celebrations happening, kicking
Yeah.
off some cables under the
Yeah.
behind all the stands that are here.
Really threw a
Uh,
curveball in the production team that was.
Oh.
Wow, Jesus.
And yeah,
It's just gonna
Christopher with a
river
quick
and
check again, and
get
yeah,
bean in the
of
pot
course,
for any kind of middling sizing.
very much so. I think you can even just go for pot here. It's given it's gonna check 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 check.
Yeah.
I would bet the house that Christopher never has better than our
king.
holding here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes for half pot here, or oh no, 2/3. Okay, yeah,
That's a pretty good sizing, I think. I thought
a
he
bit more
just goes-
reasonable, yeah.
It's all in.
Ooh, okay, call, and we win. Great. Ask for a count, which is at least, yeah, seems good.
Do you think Cristoforo's just kind of over it at this point?
Yeah, I believe this is
it's not
more.
really,
This definitely isn't the value jam at all.
No.
I would have expected the easiest one chip ever from Christopher
Yeah.
versus bet, and now he's just turning a hand into a bluff that's jamming into a bunch of flushes
Better hands.
and king X.
Yeah, King
right?
X, and
Like you beat all the bluffs that he's betting.
he's
and,
gonna have some like 5-4 off with the
oh,
club,
and we have the call.
There we go.
Yep, that
And
seems to
Reimar
be the end of
sniffs
it,
out, and that's gonna be him.
and that is
crowned already.
congratulations
6
to
hands
Gabriel.
into the heads up.
Wow.
Manages to defeat Cristoforo from Cyprus, who kind of waved the white flag in some ways there with the
Yeah.
rather defensive approach to the heads up match, and ends up just slamming it in at the end.
Yeah, and see the realization there.
Wow. Yeah, it's
Just
all gonna start
of the
sinking
entire
in.
week, yeah. That's amazing. See the bright smile.
Yeah, great smile, and he's executed that really well. He's got a friend on the rail. maybe he got a little piece, or just a good buddy of his. Happy to see him take it down. And 1,025
Yeah.
entries here at the main event in the festival in Bratislava.
Oh,
And
what
Gabriel
a week
Roma.
it's been. What a week it's been
That's
for this guy.
two headline wins. He won the Bratislava Deep Stack earlier on in the week for 14.4. Now closes out with no deal for 80,000 euros in the festival main event, outlasting 1,024 players. Thanks very much to Michel Molinar for joining me, getting some expert insight, despite not making the final table, unfortunately coming up just short for the back-to-back defense. But it's been a great couple of hours, despite the technical issues, and that rounds out a fantastic week here at the festival with excellent participation across the mixed games, the cash games, and some of the other big bet games running. What are you most looking forward to in 2024?
Am I allowed to say anything else but then
Not
the next
locations.
festival series?
So
No
you're
locations,
you're
the
gonna
next
be at the
festival
next
series.
one.
I'll be looking at my schedule.
Be looking at the schedule.
I'll be
That's-
looking out for the announcement, and then
Yeah.
I'll see where I'll be at
Yeah,
that time.
keep your eyes peeled over
Yeah.
at thefestival.com for all of the updates on those locations, as Franke is the man with all the power and will decide to share those once he sees fit. Give us a follow over on our socials at the Festival OG on Instagram and Facebook. And for us, that's going to round out the week here at the festival from Bratislava. Until next year, it's goodbye from us.
Thank you, George.